baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, this started off as kind of a crappy Friday, but it turned out to be pretty nice. But none of that stuff, because we're here and we are live on Friday Night Vyp, baby. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a fun evening. We got the Mystic White Note 20 Ultra in the building. Whoo! Got a couple other surprises. You know the procedures. It's time for your boy. It's time for your boy to go to work. How y'all doing? We'll let the chat populate. We'll let YouTube know that I'm live. I think YouTube just sent out that notification as they did. YouTube has officially sent out the notification, which means that all of you all know that we are live, baby. Yes, you all know that we're live. Yes, we are here. Look at my people populating the chat. I see you, baby. I see y'all. What's up? How y'all doing? Woo! This is gonna be fun. Whoa! We already got 20 people with them. Damn, y'all get here quick. I like it. I love it. All right. So we got 20 people in the chat. I can go ahead and begin this evening festivities. Woo! Oh yeah. This is gonna be a fun night. This is gonna be a fun evening. So, current time, 6:29 p.m. Central Standard Time, which means you are on the right place. You are on the right YouTube channel, baby. Woo! Oh, yeah. Most of y'all that are already here, you know what's about to happen next because you are Friday Night Vyp veterans. But for those of y'all that are lurking and possibly new here, you want to listen to this next part very carefully because, and listen very carefully, here it comes. This is the part of the live stream where I'm going to need you to turn your volume down. Because if you don't turn your volume down, I cannot be held liable for what your neighbor think of you listening to some loud dude on YouTube. That's on you, not on me. That's on you, not on me. Now we got the official Friday Night Vyp disclaimer out of the way, baby. Out of the way. That's right. Turn your volume down. Disclaimer's out of the way. Wait. I'm messing up here. Hold on. And now it's time to get into the single most electrifying live stream introduction in YouTube today, baby. It is approximately 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I got to hurry up and go to work. And here we go. It's going to be a fun night. It's going to be a fun night. Cover your ears, newbie. Cover your ears. Woo! Yes. Oh, yeah. What's up, people? This your boy Viper, the man about tech, and we are live. Welcome to Friday Night Vyp, baby. Woo! Woo! Oh, yes. It is that day again. We are back. We are live on YouTube. Woo! Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. So, before I get into tonight's festivities, let me see who I got in the chat tonight. First on the list is Jason C. What's up, bro? How you doing? Then we got the homie Battery Powered. What's up, bro? How you doing? We got John Michelle. What's up, John? How you doing? We got Gabriel T. Black. What's up, Gabriel? How you doing? And Digital Slang is here. What's up, bro? How you doing? Tech for your needs is here. What's up, bro? How you doing? And we got the Bionic Scoop in the building. What's up, bro? How you doing? Oh, we got Josh Quinones. What's up, Josh? How you doing, baby? And the homie 504 is here. What's up, bro? Joseph Hardison is next. What's up, bro? How you doing? And the Apple Jockey himself is here. And I just got Jack. But Alex Jackson is here. What's up, bro? How you doing? And we got Matt McCourt. What's up, Matt? How you doing, baby? How you doing? We got Aditya Picard. What's up, Aditya? How you doing? And we got Jose Guzman. What's up, Jose? How you doing, baby? F Nick is in the cut. What's up, bro? What's up? How you doing? My homie from the UK, Marvin Wallace. What's up, bro? How you doing? And we got NY Tom. What's up, bro? How you doing, baby? How you doing? And we got Saran in the cut. What's up, bro? What's up? How you doing? The Norwegian sensation, LVA. What's up, bro? How you doing? And we got J.O. out there, baby. What's going on? How you doing? And we got Anthony Beltray. What's up, bro? How you doing? And we got Totally Techno Tim. What's up, man? How you doing? How are y'all doing? I think I get everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Friday Night Vyp, the flagship live stream that I do every single solitary Friday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You know the procedures. You see the intro. I mean, not the intro. You see the title of the live stream. We got to talk about the whiteness, the mystic white of this bad boy that I have in my hand, the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. Oh my God, look at that. Do you see the beauty? Do you see the beauty? Oh my God, look at that. Look at that camera bump. Look at that oh my God. God, it's so good. It's so sexy. It's so business. It's so executive. Oh my goodness. Look at the stainless steel silver you got on the side here and the top. Oh, and that camera bump. I cannot believe technically T said the camera bump ain't big. Bro, I can almost palm the phone by the camera bump. If you could palm the phone by the camera bump is too big. Okay, now maybe not. I can almost, but you can literally almost palm the phone by the camera bump. That's how you know it's a little bit too big. If you could palm it by the camera bump, it's too big. Oh, we got my homie Genosis out there. What's up, bro? How you doing, baby? How you doing? What's up? What's up? But yeah, man, this phone's legit. Now, I told you guys I was trying to hold out for the Fold 2, but after I saw pictures of this Mystic White, I had to get my hands on it, and I got it. And oh my Lord, this phone, I mean, the first thing that you really notice about it is the screen size. It is massive. I know. Vegeta, we got my man, we got the homie Vegeta in the cut. Dragon Ball Z fans, you know where I'm at. But Vegeta's in the building. Love this Note 20 Ultra. The screen size is almost like holding a movie theater in your hand. The screen is massive. 6.9 inches of OLED Quad HD display. Goodness, this is what is going on. This is what's up. Man, and I see we got Nick Kiev Molina. What's up, bro? How you doing? How you doing? You know how it is. You know how I do, baby. You know how I do. And to answer your question from earlier, Mr. Digital Slang, yes, I am wearing the brand new silvered Sony WH-1000XM4. These are the brand new additions. They are legit. They are in the building. We got these in the building. We got the Note in the building. Tomorrow, the Galaxy Bud Live, the Mystic Black ones will be in the building. Your boy Vyp getting all the new tech. It's a beautiful thing. Hoping to still get a hold of that Galaxy Fold 2. So I'm still trying to get a hold of that too when that comes out. So yeah, we getting all the tech, baby. It's in tech season. We are in full tech season. But this phone is sexy AF. This might be the single best looking phone I've ever had in my life. I mean, it's all blacked out on the front. You got the silver or the white on the back with the silver camera, bro. I mean, look at it. Look at it. I mean, I tell you guys all the time. All right, let me see if I can get this at a good angle here. Okay, all right. Like I tell you guys all the time, if you don't think this is sexy, if you absolutely don't believe that this looks sexy, look away, then look back. Look away, then look back. Look away, then look back. Holy good God, this is sexy. This phone is sexy AF. I mean, this is better looking than any iPhone I think I've seen. You know what? The iPhone 5 is my favorite design. But compared to this, oh no, fam, this is just, woo, this is lovely. This is just, oh, this is awe-inspiring. This will make you want to retire from your job and slap your mama. This is lovely. This is lovely. Now, okay, before I get too excited, got a couple of links I want to send out. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know, but we're going to send some links. We'll see. I got a couple of links I need to send out. I don't know what's going to happen, but you know, we're going to see what happens. We're going to see what happens. We're going to send these links and we're going to see what go with. We're going to go fishing and we're going to see what's going on. We sending the links. We sending the links out, baby. We sending the links out. We gonna see what's going on, and then we'll go. But man, oh, this is next level. Now, the homie Technically T made a video yesterday, talking about his first 24 hours with the Note 20, and he said it's perfectly boring. Now, you know, a lot of people, and definitely the Samsung Knights, they probably rushed to the comment section, hated on my boy. But I mean, he's kind of right in a way, right? Once you get past the design and the hardware, It's the same Samsung device that you know and love that they've been doing over the past, like, what, 4 or 5 years now. I mean, it's not much different from the last year's Note 10. So, I mean, after a while, I mean, after you get past the initial newness of it, after you get past that honeymoon phase, I can see how you can get bored with this. I mean, I kind of find myself, I'm almost there, but I'm not quite there yet. But I can see why you can get bored with it, because it doesn't really bring anything new to the table that much from your previous Note devices. I mean, that's why I'm really looking forward to getting a hold of the Fold, because I have never had a foldable phone in my life, and that's something that's actually new, and it's different than what we have already out there. So while I'm enjoying this phone, it's basically more of the same from Samsung and everybody else. When the iPhone 12 come out later this year, those are going to be boring too, because we know what the iPhone is. It's going to be the same slab of glass. It'll have a new processor. It'll have 5G. It'll have maybe some updated camera. But at the end of the day, it's the same iPhone experience that you've become accustomed to for the past 3 years. It's not going to be all that serious. So, I mean, you know what? And it is what it is. I mean, I don't know, man. It just is what it is. But yeah, the Note 20 Ultra, legit. Camera good. They definitely fixed that crappy autofocus. And, you know, it fixed that they're using laser autofocus now. It definitely works a lot better than the S20 Ultra. And then that's it. So that's what I'm talking about. Let me send this. All right, there we go. We in the building. But yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time. I cannot get over the screen size. 6.9 inches. This is the biggest phone I have ever owned, and it's massive. It is literally massive. Like I said, it's almost like watching watching content or handling an actual movie screen, or one of those big things, one of those big movie displays, whatever. It's literally something like that. It's big. This thing is huge. Like, this thing is massive, man. Like, you really can't get the full appreciation of how massive this is unless you hold it in your hand. But this phone is absolutely massive. I got big hands, and it's making my hands look small. I mean, the phone is huge. Now, some people don't like huge phones. They like smaller phones, and that's okay. I mean, if you like smaller phones, there's a Pixel 4a for you. That's kind of small. There's a 5.8-inch iPhone. There's an iPhone SE. If you really want that teeny tiny type stuff, the iPhone SE 2020 will be right up your alley. But if you want the big boy, if you want to play in the big league with the big boy with the big screen, you got to go with the Note 20 Ultra. This is, oh my Lord. And can we take a moment to appreciate these camera rings? Do y'all see the camera rings? I need to show y'all the camera rings. Oh my God. Do you see how elegant that looks? How elegant, how exquisite, how executive those camera rings look. Oh, I'm in love with the design. The hardware design on this phone is next level. A1. Again, I think somebody saw some videos or whatever, called this a work of art. This phone, this design is a literal work of art. It looks that good. It can literally be put in an art museum. It looks that good. It is banging. Like, this design is banging, man. Like I said, when I saw this in Mystic White, I mean, I know Samsung is trying to market that Mystic Bronze. Y'all can have that Rose Gold wannabe. Y'all can have that. Give me the Mystic White. This is where it's at. This is the best color by far of any of the Note 20 Ultras. This is the one you need to have. That bronze can take a seat. This is the new king in town. This is a beast. This is legit. I'm just saying. I mean, I know we all have our individual color preferences, but mine is the white. Like I said, your boy got the white shirt. We got the white and silver. Your boy got the silver, the stainless steel watch band from Nomad. I mean, your boy is all blinged out, coordinating with the white and silver Note 20 Ultra. Your boy get it done tonight with the white rim glass into. Oh my goodness, yes. Mystic White is where you want to be. I need to hydrate. I need to hydrate. So if you guys got any preliminary questions about the Note 20 Ultra, let me know, and I'll try to answer them as much as I can. I've only had it for a few hours, so I won't be able to answer everything, but I can do the best I can if you guys have any basic questions or anything like that. I'm telling you, NY Tom, it literally looks like something James Bond would carry. I could definitely see James Bond carrying this bad boy. This is the James Bond 35 phone right here. This is that good. It's that pretty. Oh, oh my goodness. Oh man, this is Samsung. You did it. You did it with this one. I mean, just look at that. Oh my god. And then of course, we can't talk about a Note 20 or Note phone in general without talking about the F Pen, which I keep losing because it's on a new side here. I mean, good God Almighty! Whoo, look at that F Pen. Now, it's the same like kind of F Pen, although I do like the silver ascendant button on this one. So that's like a silver button. I like, look at that chrome on it. Even the F Pen is blinged out. I mean, good God, Samsung, y'all went all the extra mile. They went the extra mile and then 10 more extra miles with this Note 20 Ultra. I mean, the F Pen is blingy. I mean, you know you're serious when your F Pen is blinging. This is good stuff right here. So Frank is asking a question. He's asking a very good question from me. He's like, Vyper, are you rocking that Quad HD or that 120 hertz? Right now, honestly, Frank, I'm rocking the Quad HD. Like I keep telling you guys, the 120 hertz display, that's okay. It's cool. It's cuddly. It doesn't really change the way I use the phone. I'm kind of like a resolution snob. I want to be able to watch YouTube videos in 1440p. So the only way I can watch YouTube videos in 1440p or the closest thing I can get to 4K is to rock with the Quad HD display. So your boy Vyper rocking the Quad HD at 60 hertz. I mean, it's smooth. It's still smooth, still buttery. People acting like they ain't never seen a 60 hertz display before. You've been rocking 60 hertz display for the past, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years? I mean, on that brand new, it ain't that big of a deal. Stop playing. Mr. Tech Rant, I did not get a screen protector, but I do know what you mean because I've had experience with Samsung devices where they crack kind of easily. But what I did get, Tech Rant, is this leather case. And this is let me put it on the leather case. Let me slap it on the case and y'all can see what I'm talking about here. But this leather case is almost in business, almost in classy and executive as the phone itself. But let's slap it in the case and see what we got because this is good stuff. I mean, look at that. Do you see how smooth that looks? I mean, for the first time, Samsung finally figured out how to protect the camera bump too. On their S20 Ultra leather cases, they didn't really protect the camera bump that well. But this phone actually protects the camera bump and it's leather. Samsung actually makes pretty good leather cases. So this case is definitely legit, definitely looks good. I don't like the button though. The button on the case is not the most clickable thing in the world, but I mean, it works, it's cool. But yeah, the leather case is definitely legit. But for the purposes of the stream, I would take it off so y'all can see the mystic white in all its mystic glory. Oh my goodness. Like, this phone will never leave the house without a case, but when I'm in the house, I gotta enjoy the beautiful design, the beautiful mystic white. Oh man. This, yeah. I'm feeling this one. I'm feeling this one. See, look at, we got the poets. Even the poets is like, yo, Quad HD over 120 hertz. I'm telling you, man, that resolution is where it's at, baby. The resolution is where it's at. Woo! Yeah, they moved the F Pen 504. I don't know how I feel about that yet. I'm so used to it being on the right side. So I don't know how I feel about that, but hey, it is what it is. And at the end of the day, that's not that big of a deal. Not at all. So Mark, no, not Mark. Who just asked that? Okay, Michael. So Michael Rocco wants to know, Vype, is it worth the upgrade over the for the Note 10 Plus? I think what you're asking is if you have a Note 10 Plus, should you upgrade to the S20, the Note 20 Ultra? No. The Note 10 Plus is an amazing device. You do not and you should not upgrade to the Note 20 Ultra if you have a Note 10 Plus. Don't do that. It's not worth it. Now, if you're like me and you got to have the latest and greatest, then do what you got to do. Make your plans. Do what you got to do. But if you're asking me as an average consumer and a person that's looking at this objectively speaking, no, you should not upgrade to this Note 20 Ultra. If you have a Note 10 Plus, you will be doing just fine. But if you are a hardcore techie, then I mean, look at it. I mean, do I need to say anything else? Do I need to talk? I mean, I can literally just hold the phone to the camera for the rest of the stream and let the phone speak for itself. I mean, good God. Look at it. Again, if you don't think this looks sexy, look away, then look back. 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 Look away some more, and then look back. I mean, good God. Are you kidding me right now? I mean, I don't even have to talk no more. The phone speaks for me. The phone literally speaks for itself. But, yeah. Don't mind me. I need to calm down. I need to calm down. But I'm telling you, the phone is good, baby. The phone is good. It's just that good. Woo. All right. So, what you guys are talking about as a pre-installed screen protector is just a piece of plastic film. That's not a screen protector. That's just a piece of plastic film to lightly protect the phone while it's in transit. That ain't no screen protector. It's plastic film. And no, it's trash. That's what it is. It's trash. Bro, Mark, you are speaking my language, Mark. You are speaking my language, man. I mean, good God, Mark. The Fold 2 is going to be next level. Now, your boy Viper got to get the Fold 2 in that Mystic Black, because apparently with the Fold 2 is only coming in Mystic Black or Mystic Bronze. I already told you guys I'm not rocking with that bronze stuff. So your boy Viper got to get that Fold 2 in Mystic Black. That is going to be so boss level. That's why, I can't wait till I get my hands on that Fold 2. Samsung is doing it big with these devices this year, man. Oh my God. Sammy is taking it next level, and I'm here for it. I am here for it, Samsung. I'm here for it. Oh, yes, I'm here for it. I am here for it. Knew you said, bro. Let me just say that Note 20 Ultra's Gorilla Glass Victus isn't so tough for just 3 feet. Ooh. See, yeah, I don't know what it is with Samsung and display, but they don't really hold up too well if they're not treated gently. If you don't treat these Samsung displays gently, you might be in a world of hurt. I wouldn't do that. Just case it up, protect it, you'll be all right. Just case it up or protect it, you'll be good to go. Come on, man. Why you playing, Anthony? Why you playing? Come on, man. There ain't no Android skin messing with iOS. I mean, come on, stop playing. None of these Android skins are touching iOS. But if you ask me, the best Android skin is Samsung One UI without doubt, without question. I know a lot of people like the Pixel and stock Android, but no. Nobody on Android is touching One UI. Samsung, they throw so many features in these phones with One UI that One UI is by far my favorite Android skin. If it ain't One UI, it ain't the one. It ain't the one, baby. It's not the one. But better than iOS? Hell no. Not even. All right, let's see what we got. Who else in here? All right, Apple tested. I don't know, Vype. I tried an iPhone this week for a few days, and even with iOS 14, I wasn't enjoying it. I think I've been on Android for too long. I mean, but that makes sense though. That makes sense. If you've been on Android for so long and you don't really have much experience with iOS, and then you try iOS, you probably won't like it because you don't have that much experience with iOS. But if you're like me and you've been on iPhone since the iPhone 4, then it is what it is. It's all basically at the end of the day though. It's all about personal preference, man. It's all personal preference. Man, there's no right or wrong answer. As much as we have these phone wars, these fanboy wars, at the end of the day, it is personal preference. If you like Android, you're not wrong. If you like iOS, you're not wrong. If personal preference is like I always say on these live streams, it's all about what works best for you. If it works for you, it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what your favorite YouTuber thinks. It doesn't matter what your friends and family think. If it works for you, that's all that matters. All right, well, what else? Yeah, what else? What else? Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah. I watched that Flossie Carter vlog. Yo, shout out to my man Flossie Carter. If you happen to be listening to or watching this live stream, Flossie Carter, we need more vlogs, baby. Bring the vlogs back. I miss Flossie Carter just turning on the camera and talking for like half an hour about whatever is on his mind. I know he's one of the best product reviewers on planet Earth. But Flossie, if you are hearing the sound of my voice, bring back the vlogs, baby. Bring back the vlogs. The vlogs are legit. Bring them back. All right. Who else? All right. Michael said, Vype, what do you think of the Buds from Samsung, both pairs? All right. So I don't have the Buds live, but they should be here tomorrow morning. So I ordered them from Verizon today. Should be getting them tomorrow before 12 or whatever. So I'll give you some first thoughts on the Buds Live on tomorrow. Make sure you follow me on Twitter if you want to know my real-time thoughts about the Buds Live. Not having those till tomorrow. But I have the Galaxy Buds Plus, and the Galaxy Buds Plus are pretty good. They have amazing battery life. They have great sound, and they are very inexpensive compared to AirPods Pro. So I think what the Galaxy Buds are like, $150, I think, right now. And the Galaxy Buds Live, I think, like $170. So again, I don't know about the Buds Live, and I don't have those yet. I'll have them tomorrow. Again, if you want to know more about the Buds Live, if you want to know how I feel about the Buds Live, all you got to do is hit my Twitter, and I will give you my real-time thoughts when the Buds Live get delivered here tomorrow morning. But the Buds Plus are legit. The original Buds, I didn't really care for too much. The Buds Plus are definitely legit, and we'll find out what happened with the Buds Live when I get them tomorrow. Man, I love the team. Listen, man, listen. I got said earlier, like I think people misconstrue what I'm about. I don't know how many of you all watch my regular video, but every video that I come out with, my intro is this your boy Viper, the man about tech, captain of Team Apple. But if you pay close attention to the order in which I introduce myself, I always call myself the man about tech first, captain of Team Apple second, which means even though I prefer Apple products, I am not an Apple fanboy. I'm not an Apple shield. If something is better than an Apple product, I will let you know. A lot of people think that I'm pro Apple all the time. Y'all must be new AF, because if you've been paying enough attention to me on these YouTube streets, then you know that I am not afraid to call Apple out whenever they're wrong. When they kept giving us those garbage butterfly keyboards, I called them out. When the Apple Watch Series 3 came with messed up Wi-Fi handoff, the handoff from Wi-Fi to LTE was terrible, I let them know about it. When the iPhone 10 came out and it had like it had some disorder or some issues with touch and things like that, I called them out on it. The notch, I called them out on the notch. Listen, man, I love Apple. I love Apple products. I prefer using Apple products because they work best for me. But I understand that no Apple products are not perfect, okay? They're not perfect. I understand that there are other companies out there that make better products than Apple. I rock with the hotness. Like Flossie Carter says, I pledge allegiance to the hotness, okay? I always tell you guys that in a vacuum, every Samsung device that comes out is usually better than an iPhone in a vacuum by itself. But if you factor in the iPhone and the iOS ecosystem, then it's a wrap. But if we are talking about the devices on their own merit, what they bring to the table, Samsung devices are better than iPhones every year. I mean, what are we talking about here? No, it is what it is. I need to rehydrate. I need to rehydrate. Your boy out here talking too much. 50 people in the live stream. What's up, 50 people? How y'all doing? Hey, what's up? Shout out to my lurk squad. I know a lot of y'all come to the live stream every week and you lurk. I wish you all would say hello so I know who's watching, but that's okay. I know some of y'all, some big timers out there, y'all don't want to make yourself known, or you don't want people to know that you watch Viper, which I don't know why you wouldn't, but I'm the man. But hey, I know y'all be lurking out there, so shout out to my lurk squad. How y'all doing? I see you. Look at Tech Red talking about some stock Android forever. Like, don't get me wrong, I like stock Android, but I like Samsung One UI a hell of a lot more. Hey, Beth. It is definitely spicy. It's definitely spicy. It's hot. It's spicy. It's business. It's executive. It's classy. I mean, look at the. I need to put this down. I can't even put it down, but I need to put it down. It's that hot. Hot. Too hot. Woo! All right. Let's see who else out there. I'm trying to keep up with these chat, but y'all are chatting it up tonight. Oh, you know what, Alex? Actually, you know what, Alex? Yes, the Vype line will be open. Not right now, but it will be open later. So be on the lookout. The Vype line will be open tonight because I think you guys are going to want to call into the Vype line tonight. I'm letting you know you are probably going to want to call into the Vype line tonight at some point. So yeah, it will be open, but I will let you know when the Vype line is open. I will let you know. Bro, Rodney. I think you're right, man. I think you're right. I think you're right, baby. I'm ready. My body is ready. My body is ready for the Fold 2. I'm so ready for that phone. You don't understand? I had the body just to hold me over. Like, come on, man. I'm ready for that Fold 2. I am ready. Oh, good question. How heavy is this? Blah, 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 blah. Where's that iPhone of mine? I think this one's lighter than the iPhone. I think the iPhone is a tad bit heavier, a little bit heavier. I think the iPhone have more density. Yeah, this one's lighter, but not by much. I mean, they both have premium build quality, so there's nothing wrong with the build quality of the Note 20 Ultra. Although I would say it's lighter than the iPhone, but the build quality is A1. Magnifico. All right, let's see what else going on. Let me go back. Let me go down, see what we got. All right, let me go back. Let me see what's going on. Tech Grant. Like, listen, man, Viper pledges allegiance to the hotness again. You know what? If the tech is hot, you got my attention. It doesn't matter if you're Apple, Samsung, Google, Huawei, LG, HTC, if they ever make a comeback. Hell, BlackBerry coming back next year. Can you believe that? BlackBerry is coming back next year with a phone. I can't believe it. I swear BlackBerry has 9 lives. I mean, they got to rename themselves Feline BlackBerry because, good God, they literally have 9 lives out there with BlackBerry. They never die. You can't keep a good BlackBerry down. I mean, good grief. BlackBerry is all over the place, man. They just don't stay down. You can't keep BlackBerry down. You can't keep them down, man. Woo! What do I think the next breakthrough on a smartphone should be? It's going to be AR. We are on the doorstep of AR. We are on the cusp of an AR breakthrough. I think if Apple could come out with their Apple Glass, that will be the beginning of the breakthrough for AR. Or if somebody else maybe comes out with AR glasses or some sort of next generation AR experience, yeah, AR is definitely the next breakthrough in technology. But we got to stop the live stream because we have a first-time guest about to come to the show. We got one of the hottest tech YouTubers from the Great North, from the Canada. Let's bring in my man, Justin T, to the building. What's up, bro? How you doing?
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me on.
Good, man. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. Thank you.
It's quite the intro.
Yeah. I don't know how much you watch me or you ever watched me before, but that's standard operating procedure around here, baby. That's what's up. Man.
No, I've seen a few episodes before, but I was in for like 5 seconds and it cut straight to the intro. Very seamless. So that was cool. It's my first time doing a live in a long time. I haven't really done a YouTube live, so it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Well, you know what? If this is your first YouTube live in a while, then you come to the right place because if you're gonna start doing live, then Friday Night Vyp is definitely the spot you want to be at. But man, nice for you to join me. I appreciate your time, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
No problem, man. No problem. So I've been watching you for a long time, man. But I think in your latest video, you have gotten to the point where you have now brought an office space and you're going to reconstruct and remodel it to become your YouTube studio. So talk about the process of like looking into like office spaces and what were you looking for and what exactly are you planning to do long term with this space that you brought?
Yeah, for sure. I think like with YouTube, especially in the early years, like when I was a teenager and trying to like save up for cameras and like products to review, in the very beginning, it's essentially using all the resources that you have and trying to kind of borrow things here and there and just try to make content work with what you have. At the time, I didn't have any money to kind of purchase products or cameras and all that stuff. So I was filming just in my bedroom, parents' house, and eventually I built the bedroom into a video set with a single desk, and I even blocked off my window for like 4 or 5 years with drywall just to get consistent lighting. So I didn't have any daylight in the bedroom for a couple of years, but it was all to hopefully make better videos. Eventually moved over to the study room next door, and then down to the basement at the parents' house. They actually charged me rent, and they said they'll charge me rent until I get my university degree, which I never got. So for a while, I was still paying perpetual rent on the basement, and all the packages and stuff were piling up. I moved out about 2017, and I'm actually in the master bedroom of the condo, and we film all of our videos in here. And it was just like 3-4 desks, lighting, cameras. All the closets are full of camera gear and chargers. And then we'll have my friend who works for me full time on this side of the desk. So around last year, it was sort of like what's next? If we want to hire more people, an editor or someone just to help out, there's only so many people you could fit in a 12-foot by 12-foot master bedroom in a condo. So I started looking at some places. One option was to rent an apartment and use that as a filming set, which made a little bit of sense. But at the same time, it was a lot of money considering I didn't really have control over the space. So slowly after that, we took a look at some of the spots that are available. And for real estate investing, I think something my parents have always tried to push the past couple of years is to not buy things that you can't sell or can't invest in. So the first big one was the place I'm living in right now. And I think I realized after a couple of years that was a good investment. The value had grown, and I was constantly like trying to improve it and stuff. And after doing the renovation last year and making a whole YouTube series about it, I figured that it was a good idea to like look into purchasing a space using the company, and doing another series on YouTube that ties together the tech side of things with the whole home decor and just things that I love. I think we noticed that in our tech videos, like for phones and reviews of like just like general devices, our videos don't perform as well as the others because there's so many people who are really, really good at reviewing smartphones. Whereas I might have gotten a little bit bored of it, and it started to show through that reviewing the same phones and very similar items throughout the years was something that was just sort of shifting interest.
Mm.
So I think where we kind of renewed our passion was with desk setup videos, makeovers, and trying to integrate technology and still like stay within the tech realm, but talking more about things that I enjoy. So yeah, the plan with the space is just to completely renovate it, work with a few partners like Dyson, some countertop companies, and everything, and try to just put together the ultimate office space that we'll use for the years to come, and and just like create some content there. And then on weekends we can put like a projector and watch some sports with friends, and just kind of, I don't know, it was sort of just like a fun project because there wasn't any traveling this year. So I was sort of like, it would be something fun to kind of focus on for the next 5 to 6 months, and try to adapt as much as possible and see what's kind of next. But there's definitely a lot of work to do in the place, and still a long way to go on the channel, that we're still trying to learn and discover as we go.
Yo, I was gonna ask you about like having to work from home a lot, because I remember when I was watching you a few months ago or whatever, you were traveling a lot before all this craziness started. But now we've been pretty much forced to sit at home for a while. So I guess you've been busy finding and plotting, planning, buying that loft, and now you're gonna renovate it and reconstruct it to fit your YouTube space. So that's kind of cool. But I find it interesting though, because I was looking through your content and I'm like, there's been a radical, kind of like a radical shift in your content, because like you said,
Yeah.
you were reviewing smartphones and things like that. And I saw you were doing more like computers and things like that, and depth setup and things like that. So I'm curious to get your thoughts, because a lot of creators run into this issue, right? You do the same thing over and over again for a long period of time, but after a while you get bored of it. You wanna pivot over to like doing different type of content. So I'm interested to get your thoughts on how is your audience taking the pivot from smartphone every week, this, that, another, into your desk setup and renovations and things like that.
Yeah, honestly, pivoting is extremely hard to do as a creator. And I think whenever I mentioned that I've been doing YouTube videos for 10 years, some people will comment like, well, how are you only at 500, 600,000 subscribers if you've been doing it for 10 years? And my kind of response to that was, I started when I was 13. So when I was 13 to 18, I really didn't know what I was doing. And I would do things the exact same way. And for those 5 years, the growth was extremely slow. And I actually created 3 channels, and restarted a couple times, just because at the time the platform was very different. The way I approached content was also very different. And I kind of just like made videos of whatever I could find. And there are people who are obviously like, who have mastered the same thing and have been able to carry that momentum for 10 years, and review the same stuff, but better. But in my case, I started out, I think the first break of the channel was maybe around 2014, 2015, when we reviewed smartphones, the Samsung Galaxy versus the iPhone. And eventually I kind of had to shift away from that because people were getting access at events and were able to get videos and comparisons out faster than I was. So the videos that were getting me millions of views years prior were only getting like 15, 20,000. And I would spend like 16 hours trying to make it on a weekend on top of going to school as like a high school and middle school kid. So I would say there was a lot of periods of YouTube that took me a long time to realize that the content I was making wasn't working anymore. Even most recently, 2016, I only gained 6,000 subscribers that entire year, which for a channel with 160,000 subscribers is not good. And it took me the whole year to realize that. And that was just because I started getting offered brand deals. And at the time, being the first time I was able to earn a living off YouTube, I didn't really know how to approach it properly. And I did every single thing I possibly could. And the content itself kind of slipped away. So I think it came to a realization that the way I was doing things was wrong. And even last year, there was like a few points where I was like, some of the stuff that we think we're supposed to make content of, like the smartphone reviews and stuff, just aren't working. And it's either I've lost interest in it, the audience has lost interest in it, or I simply need to improve the way that I approach making those videos. So yeah, last year was a lot of travel, which travel plus a renovation in my house and my office So I was just like stepping over stuff the whole time and trying to just make content. And then next thing you know, we're on a flight to Europe, and then we're back, and then we have 2 days and we got to fly again. So there wasn't really any time to sit down and focus on how we can improve the stuff. So I think I've been really happy not to travel this year at all. Last year was, we hit like 90 or 100 flights in 1 year. I pretty much went to every tech event that I possibly could have, because previously when I was in university, I wasn't able to attend any events because the school was like, you have to be there for attendance and stuff. So it was essentially just like networking and meeting everybody and shaking some hands, and learning as much as I could of the press side last year, and just being able to take advantage of being able to travel for work, and just seeing a lot of places. But yeah, I think this year I don't miss the travel part at all. I think it's actually really good to be able to sit at home and think about every little thing that we could possibly improve. And even when we weren't getting sponsorships and the revenue completely dried up for 3 months, I think we actually created more content than in a regular month, which is something that I really wanted to do. I didn't want to just like sit around and wait. I wanted to make sure we were making like progressive steps and carrying on the momentum, so that when everything started to recover a little bit more normally, that we would be in a better position as a company and as a channel. But yeah, it's the situation is kind of strange, because I know most of our business is in America and most of our audience is in America, whereas I'm in Canada, and for a while we didn't have a single active case for a long time. But I know in America the situation is much different, and a lot of our travel is revolved around that. So it is still a little bit strange in a way, but I think for any creator out there, whether it's a year like this or not, the most important thing is just to constantly learn, constantly create, and just stay consistent. And I think that's how you kind of find what works and what doesn't. The home videos, for example, like we were looking at the numbers alone, the home videos are doing so much better, which is weird because I'm like, I thought we were a tech channel, and the struggle a lot of times is like the channel is a decade old. So a lot of subscribers may have subbed for tech content, but they're no longer active or watching my video. They're probably sick of me after that many videos. But then the new audience that is like active and watching, they came from the condo series last year and the desk setup videos, and the ones that ended up reaching a wider audience versus my phone videos that get squished all the way down on search.
Gotcha. Speaking of phones, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about the recent release of this beautiful Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. I know you got one, right? I know you got one. I know. Which one?
Pink one.
You got the brown. You got the bronze. Okay, how you like it?
The Samsung rep keeps telling me it's not pink, it's bronze. But I don't know what you guys think. It's definitely pink.
Let me enlarge you real quick. Put that up to the camera again, bro. That's pink, baby. I don't know what the hell. Pink. That's pink. That's not bronze, you all. That is pink. That's rose gold. No, y'all can have that. But this white though, this white is it, man. Oh my goodness. What are your? I mean, I don't know how long you've had the device, but what are your initial impressions of it?
Honestly, this past week we've been swamped to the point where the house was like a complete wreck. It was a mess, and we're like trying to get approvals done for Friday. For some reason, every single thing is due at August 31st this month. So I've turned it on, but I haven't really had the chance to use it and all that. There's just so much to cover in smartphones nowadays. Like you've got the Pixel 4a, you've got this. There's like the Galaxy Fold and the Fold 2, Z Flip, 5G. You've got stuff from LG coming out. It's exciting in a way, but I think I'm fine not doing too many videos on phones lately, just because it's just a lot. But I mean, Samsung's done a good job on this. They've had kind of a rocky path with the Galaxy Note line. They had a few little defects in a few of the years, with the S Pen being the upside down option, and then they also had the problem with the thing catching on fire. But honestly, at this point, like we don't really know how many more things they can do to the Note line. Like they put a massive camera on the back. The screen is more sensitive, which is really nice. So the stylus and everything. I know some people mentioned that it's weird how the stylus is on the left side. It used to be on the right side, right?
Right. Yep.
But in my case, I'm actually left-handed, so it's perfect. Just like pop it out and naturally start drawing and everything. But yeah, it's a big phone. The color, yeah, like it's it's the color definitely makes me want to use it a little bit less. But It's I don't know. It just doesn't look right, and with the carbon dbrand skin on it, it doesn't look much better because you
Oh,
can see the edges. So
yeah.
yeah, hopefully they'll. I think they said they're going to swap it out, but I think yeah, I think most people ended up getting a bronze one. You were lucky. You got a white one.
Well, I brought the white ones. I better get what I brought. I don't have that just in cloud. They don't send me device. I have to go and buy my own. But yeah, I brought the white one. But yeah, I thought it. I saw pictures of it. I'm like, yo, I gotta have it. I got to have that one. Woo, man.
The white is always a safe bet for filming. White is definitely the easiest. There was one year where Samsung, I think they gave everybody a chrome one. So to film it, it was a little bit, it was definitely difficult.
Oh, that or glow, yeah, that or glow. I heard Marquette that was rough. Yeah.
That one was rough because when you're trying to set your colors and you're trying to grade the footage, there is no reference. Like the thing changes color in every area of light. So I think we filmed that one as well, and the video didn't do well at all. Probably not to do with the phone's color, but when I was filming it, I was like, well, what do I do with this thing? Because you try to like create sets that match the color and like find notebooks and like all that, and with a phone like that, you're like, well, what do I do with it?
So I'm curious to get your thought. Like, this is a great phone. This is the best hardware that Samsung has ever come out with for any phone. But at the end of the day, it's still a Samsung Galaxy Note phone. I mean, there's nothing that major that's changed from last year to this year, or even 2 years ago to this year. Hell, even 3 years ago to this year. So I think I'm of the mindset, Justin, that we've kind of reached like peak smartphone as far as like what they can do with this like form factor and things like that. I think it's pretty cool that Samsung has the foldable line and that offers something kind of new. But do you feel like I do that we kind of reach like peak slab, or do you think there's more that we can do with this?
I feel like there are companies that are starting to experiment with the future. And I think we've seen it from the Chinese companies, especially like Huawei and Oppo, who have been trying things that are maybe a little bit different than what other brands are doing. One of the newest innovations was last year. You have like the Oppo and the Huawei phones that had the zoom, the periscope camera. And that's actually a pretty smart idea. That was one of those things where you're taking something that is existing in another area and retrofitting it into a smartphone. The whole like periscope mirror and how it uses a lens and it's like all compressed into like all the angle stuff. And I think Chinese phones are a good area to look at for devices that have a lot of hardware innovation. The software seems to always be a problem with Chinese phones. The optimization, the way it deals with raw camera footage, not as good. It still needs a lot of work. But in terms of like hardware innovation, I believe they're doing a lot of cool things. Smartphones, honestly, like I don't know. Like I don't know if it's because I haven't been as up to date in terms of researching smartphones, or if it's just boring. Because there's nothing like you really have to nitpick to find something that you'll notice on an everyday basis. I'm a pretty simple smartphone user. Like I use the iPhone. It gets the job done in terms of the camera. The battery life finally lasts me a whole day. The 10S used to still have a lot of problems with battery life, but there's not really too much that I'm like, oh, we're gonna have to wait till next year to get something that I haven't got before. Whereas like I'd say a year and a half, 2 years ago, when you get the phone on the first day, you would still be able to identify something that you're looking forward to a year ahead. And Samsung's always been a very feature focused company. They like to go over like quantity over quality, and they've gotten better at controlling that and optimizing it lately. But at the end of the day, like even though I haven't really looked into the detailed press info of this device yet, it like if you gave me a note from the previous generation and this, I doubt, like aside from if I was a heavy S Pen user, I would notice like anything crazy. Aside from the massive camera bump on the back.
And it is massive. I mean, like I said, you could almost palm the phone by the camera bump.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's like it's not a big deal for me because I would use a case with something like this, but like you put it on a table and it's such a big device that it's gonna rock either way. So I don't know what was really going on with that. I'm not too concerned about the bumps like visually, but I think like in terms of small details and like the balance and stuff, there are people out there who like to use their device without a case. And that's definitely something that you notice when you're trying to set a phone like this on a, like even to watch a movie, like on a dining table, it's like a pretty big incline.
Listen, man, even Stevie Wonder could see that camera bump. Look at that. I mean, it's hard to miss. You literally can't miss that camera bump. It's like it's out there. It's like the X-Files is out there.
Yeah, especially if it's pink.
Right. Exactly.
At least yours blends in a little bit better.
A little bit, but I mean, it's still like, I mean, good Lord, it's like, it's there, like, bam, in your face. Oh, man. So, so I'm guessing that you are going to get your hands on a Galaxy Fold 2 at some point, right?
Canada's always a little bit different. I was joking with the Samsung reps that by the time Canada gets the Galaxy Fold 2, the Fold 3 is already going to be out in the US. So that's the tough part with phones as well. Like we always try to be on time, but Canada's usually on like a different schedule than America, and that's not only with the releases. On the what's it called? On the actual like press side, it's a completely different story. Like Canada's resources are far more depleted. It's really complicated. I think there's benefits and drawbacks to being a Canadian creator. The good thing about being a Canadian creator is that you get deals from Canada and the US. Whereas in the US, they don't, or the American brands will come to Canada to find creators just because a lot of us have a majority American audience. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you're in America, if you're based in America, a Canadian company is usually not going to go to America to hire a creator. Right. So it's good and bad because with PR, it's kind of complicated. Like you might have travel coordinations with Samsung Canada, but then say like Samsung USA Mobile has the budget and kind of the plans that Canada doesn't. You end up working a bit with the mobile side in the US, but then your logistics have to go through Canada. So it's like it's a little bit of a weird one, but you kind of make it work. And I think, yeah, I don't know when we're going to get, I haven't even touched the Z Flip actually.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So Canada just like didn't get any units of that. And like sometimes D-Brand will have a unit and that's how we are able to try out like the new phones that Canada doesn't have yet. But yeah, what happened was the first round of Galaxy Folds had an issue. And in America, I think they re-released it. In Canada, I think the carriers just decided not to carry it at all.
Ooh. Yeah, I think it was like maybe one or two carriers in the US that decided not to carry it at all after there was an issue.
Yeah.
Too, yeah.
But Canada, there is only like 3 major carriers, and then they all have their sub carriers. So, yeah. So in that case, I think Canada's 3 major carriers, the big 3, and then and so only one of them was originally supposed to carry it, and then I think whatever happened with that. So yeah, probably next year before I get to play with the Fold 2.
Wow. Now I'm curious, even though you kind of like pivoted over to like doing like redecoration and desk setup and things like that, do you still plan on doing like smartphone videos in the future, or are you just completely done with that?
Yeah, 100%. I think at the end of the day, we want to stay as a tech channel. The home stuff is just like it's just like something I'm interested in. I feel like technology is something that exists in every aspect of life. Like it isn't just down to smartphones. And if anything, if you look at general society, most people don't really think too much about their smartphones. We're just like a niche that loves to cover a certain device and pinpoint on it. And unless you're really interested in smartphones, a lot of people don't search smartphone videos. They're looking for like what to bring when they're traveling, what to bring when they're back to school. So I think the approach that we've taken on the channel is integrating technology into everyday life and the applications with that. So the back to school content, back in the day when I first started, I was reviewing stuff individually. Like I would review like a headphone or like a certain thing, and there's still definitely a great niche out there for that if you're really into that specific topic. But in my case, because I wasn't like particularly too interested in certain categories, like I like a bit of camera stuff, I like a bit of audio stuff, I like home technology, but not to like an extreme degree, and I like smartphones, but also not like to the point where I'm going to be switching a phone every single week. I like to just pick and choose and ride with the daily phone. Mm-hmm. I felt like the best approach was to find like different scenarios and audiences who are looking for a general product and introduce stuff that are like, oh, that's cool, we haven't heard of that. But if they're not too interested in it, at least the next product might be something of interest. So yeah, I think I think like we definitely still plan to review smartphones. And what we started doing last year with travel content was on a lot of these events, we would be in the destination for like 2 to 3 days, sometimes 4 if we're really lucky. But some brands, they'll fly you in for 1 or 2 days and they'll just like fly you back, which in my case, I'm spending more time on a plane than I am on the ground. Right. But we tried to spend every second that we had on the ground to film an entire travel film as well. And within that travel film, we'll add images that we took on the brand new smartphone. And I think in some of the New York ones, we would contact the helicopter company and say, hey, we have this unreleased phone. We're one of the first to have it. Would you guys be willing to take us on a flight? We'll take photos of it. We'll tweet it. We'll tag the company. We'll tag you guys as well. It'll get some impressions, hopefully, because people will see that it's on, and then your brand will be in it. So we had a contact there. So every time we want to go on a helicopter ride, we'll just go on that, and then some of the footage will be from the smartphone, and that'll be kind of a blend of travel and tech. The only problem was nobody watched those travel films. The views were terrible on them. But in terms of like satisfaction, I think a lot of times with YouTube, you have to create content so quickly and so consistently that you can't really get too attached to the process. I know some people can, like they can spend weeks and weeks on a video, but in the tech field, it's a little bit hard to be betting on one video that you spend 3 weeks on. You kind of have to just like put stuff out and have a strategy, but at the same time, you can't get too stuck with it. So a lot of the tech videos, we aren't able to go too far into cinematography and creativity. And I think the travel films is an area where we all got to create a project that we were just proud of. And even though nobody watched it, it was at least something a little bit different that we wanted to do.
It's funny that you say that about like watching how much time you spend on a tech video, because like you said, it's interesting. Like I think a lot of creators feel this way, but when we find ourselves spending like a lot of time on a certain video, it doesn't get as much love as the videos that we put out pretty quickly. I don't know. I think it's a weird.
It hurts.
Yeah, it hurts. I think it's like a weird combination of timing and just interest level and things like that. I don't know. Like you said, it's a delicate balance. We have to figure out what the audience wants at that particular time and then go from there.
That's the very. I mean, it's good and bad, because the good thing is in tech, you have a lot of SEO to work with. You have a lot of great products and titles that are hot. They're being searched. But at the same time, wherever there's opportunity, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be trying to do the same thing.
Right.
And that's the problem that we had. It's like you either got to be the fastest or you got to be the best. And we realized that we were neither. We were like right in the middle. And the problem with being in the middle is that it's worse than being on each side of the spectrum. So whenever I tried to be fastest, there would be limitations out of my control, such as shipping. And in Canada, like I used to try to get in touch with UPS and say, I'll wait at the airport for this thing to land and I'll go pick it up right away. Or one year I slept outside the Apple store for 28 hours and all that. And then there used to be years where I would drive to the airport and pick up the iPhone on the way, and I would unbox it in the parking lot, upload it and edit it while I'm waiting for my flight. And then I'll get on the plane, and on the way to LA, where I would film the video and try to do something a little bit more creative, that video would be uploaded. So like trying a little bit of everything, and some years it might work, but then there was also years like last year where we spent a whole bunch of money to go to LA and film like these videos. We rented a space and rented an Airbnb for a week, and then all this phone videos just like completely tanked. But at the same time, there's videos that we film in our living room that I spent like 45 minutes on and I edited in 20 minutes, and they get 500,000 views. So I'm just like, it hurts, but at the same time, you kind of have to just play your strategy instead of being mad at the system in a way. So that's why I think the setup makeover is like a decent medium where we're able to, and like the home videos where we're able to work on a project for so many months and be like proud of it, and at least have a little bit of satisfaction long term, like getting to use the space. That if the video does great, then it's even better. But if it doesn't, then at least it doesn't hurt as much as like spending a week or two filming a phone and having it underperform.
Yeah, man. I like I said, I know how that is when you spend all that time on a video, and then a video that time on it gets more views, it gets more love. It's kind of weird, but that's YouTube for you. That's the basis of YouTube.
Always like that, yeah.
We gotta take it and go, man. We gotta take it and go. So, oh yeah, it's just, oh man. I mean, it's kind of weird talking to you, because like I said, I've been watching you for a long time. It's been cool to kind of like watch you grow and evolve into a creator. I remember when you were having your downtime with like burnout and things like that, and then you were going you were going to school, doing the school thing and trying to do YouTube at the same time.
Yeah, that was
yeah, you come a long way, man. You have come a long way, dude. You've definitely been doing a thing. I mean, if you last on this platform for 10 years, you are definitely doing something correctly. So you are
10 years too long. I don't know how many more years I'll end up on it, but I think there's still so much to learn. Like there's things that even a couple months ago, we're doing everything wrong. Our strategy, our mentality towards content, and the way we want to structure it. Like even right now, we might be doing something wrong. But I think, it's just like even 10 years in, there's still a ton to learn, because if anything, I would almost say some people who are starting YouTube brand new today may have an advantage over creators who have been on it for a while, because if you've been doing it for a while, you're used to doing things a certain way, and it's very hard to change the mentality. Like it's one thing to improve on camera equipment and like the technical side of things, but the strategy and the philosophy is what is like so hard to change.
Yep.
Like yeah, like we can upgrade cameras as much as we want, but there's like little things in the content that can make a way bigger difference than stuff like that. Like flying to LA to film an iPhone video is completely unnecessary, and based on the numbers of like sitting on the couch and talking about a phone that isn't even out yet, that's kind of like an indication of that. So yeah, it's there's still so much to kind of learn, and there's so many opinions out there on how to do things that you kind of have to like grab all the information, process it, adapt it, and test it, and look at the data. I mean, nowadays YouTube's data is very effective. There's a ton of information out there. They give you like CTR, watch time, and all that kind of stuff, and you can pull the data and take a look at trends. And it's definitely cool to try to figure out. But there's still times where the system throws some curveballs, and you're kind of like, well, that doesn't make any sense.
Oh yeah, I love the curveball.
Yeah.
So, being that you are a creator and that you use cameras, I'm curious, what camera do you use to shoot your content mainly?
It's completely overkill, but we use a Red Dragon X. It's right.
Oh, you
it's
have
right
the
over.
PhD type of okay.
Yeah. So here's the we got to record a podcast tomorrow, so they're all sitting on the side. But the just as a disclaimer though, nobody needs this, and if anything, it's a pain in the ass. It's very heavy. It weighs like 25 pounds, and I'd almost say if you don't have experience with grading red footage, it actually looks worse than a DSLR. So yeah, this so my kind of explanation behind this is when I first started YouTube, I started using an iPod Touch, and I didn't know how to use a camera. I wasn't joining YouTube to do cinematography. I was just like interested in technology, and I noticed like people were getting a lot of free stuff, and I was like, wow, as a 13-year-old, like, wow, how can you get this thing for free? Like I have to save up like 2 weeks to buy that $20 item. And so I was like, so everyone's saying they're getting free stuff. So I decided to start making videos. It took a little bit longer than expected, and it just started ending up like rabbit hole after rabbit hole. Eventually upgraded to a camera. And for 2 years, I didn't know how to set white balance. So all my videos were out of the box, yellow, whatever the camera was set to. I think they're still on YouTube. But we ended up kind of like jumping around the gear thing like everyone else. Like we did the Panasonic, the GH4s, the GH5s, tried Canon, tried Sony. And in 2018, we switched to the Canon 1DX because a lot of our favorite travel filmmakers were using that. Very happy with that. Loved almost everything about it. But then I think a Red came up for sale to try out. And the reason why I thought of trying it was because Marquez had talked about how like the peace of mind with being able to change settings like white balance and all that other stuff in editing allows you to think more about your content and actually improve the speed of your workflow as a result of that. So we bought a used Red on Craigslist, and for the first year, we didn't use it a single time because I didn't know how to use it. And I was like traveling and all this kind of stuff. And a year passed by, we haven't used it. So I was like, let's sell this thing. It's stupid. Like, forget about it. It's heavy. We don't know how to use it. But we actually bought like the base Red, like the Raven, the one that had like some limitations where all the previews on the screen were in log, like flat footage. So when we're trying to sell it, we realized this thing's not worth anything anymore. But then there was a website that had used camera gear that had this model, like the one that's considered part of their new like DSMC2 system, used for a really good price, and they were willing to pay quite a bit for the Raven. So I was like, okay, let's just give it another try and try it out, give it a chance. And we started using that, and we're like, wow, like this thing did change the way we film. Because with a DSLR, you have a certain range of dynamic range. So on the Canon and the Sonys, it's like between 11 and 13 stops. Dynamic range is how much highlights and shadows the clip can take. So with the Canon 1DX, it was like 11 stops. So whenever you had a window behind you, you couldn't film because your whole face would just be completely, you can't even see it, and the window would be blown out. So when we tried the Red, we were like, wow, like the dynamic range is great. And all of a sudden it kind of opened up a whole bunch, and we noticed that we didn't really have to think about what we were filming anymore because you can change the ISO, you can change the white balance, you can change the tint and everything in post. So yeah, nowadays with that camera, we just have like full confidence in the equipment. And I'm someone who's really lazy to carry stuff. Like I hate carrying stuff for traveling. But I'll say, like, if we had to travel, I would 100% try to bring this with us everywhere.
Mm.
It sounds ridiculous, but yeah, like I mentioned, YouTube, nobody really cares or notices, but for like personal satisfaction, it's just sort of one thing to not have to think about.
Isn't it funny though? Like we know that, like you said, when people are watching the content on YouTube, they're not going to care about the extra care that we take into like doing videos and things like that. And actually, I got a beef. I got a bone to pick with you because you've made me spend so much money in the past calendar year. Because I remember it was you. You are the reason why I went down this motion VFX rabbit hole, and I can't stop now. I have spent hundreds upon hundreds of dollars on motion VFX, and I'm pretty sure it started with you and your video that you did last year. I think it was sometime last year about
Thanks
the
for the commission.
right, about the things that you use in your videos, and I'm like, man, this stuff looks cool. So I'm on motion VFX almost every week looking for some new stuff. But man, like it's just cool, like how we can like put all those graphics into our videos like that. So I've been doing a lot of graphic things for my videos.
Yeah.
And it's stuff that maybe some people might not appreciate. They might just be there for the information or to see the product. But I don't know. To me, when I'm putting the motion graphics in there, it looks cool. It looks kind of futuristic, next generation. So I'm like, I'm doing it, even though the viewer might not care. I care.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of like a picking and choosing thing. Like it used to be like a lot of times you look at the very, very small details and you're like trying to pay attention to it, but then nobody notices. And then you have somebody telling you like, just shoot on an iPhone. Like nobody, like YouTube, nobody will really care. You just have to do your content properly. But I think, yeah, over the years, I think with the volume of videos that have to be made and also just like change of philosophy, we have learned to let loose a little bit on certain things, but need to be careful not to get careless. Yesterday's video, for example, like we were down to the wire on the edit. The video has to go up by like right around noon. The sponsor has to go up on a certain day. And we were on 2 deadlines the day before. And so we're editing it up until 5 minutes before the video has to go live. And I have no time to eat and all that kind of stuff. And there ended up being a mistake in it that was to do with renders where the audio just cut in and out. And that stuff just drives me nuts because it makes no sense. I was like, we spent the money on the best computer that Apple makes. Like, what else can I do to make sure this doesn't do that, aside from watching the video and trying to fix it? But we didn't notice it because we were watching the video in the timeline and it's working and everything's fine. But then when you put it in the video and it's right at the 5-minute mark of something that ended up performing quite well, it's sort of like the way we look at it is if we had uploaded that video 3 hours later, the performance may not have been as good. But at the same time, it's kind of embarrassing to have a mistake at the 5-minute mark of a video that reaches 100,000 in its first day. It's like, so I don't know. It's there's a lot with like the editing process and like the filming process and just trying to manage everything at once that yeah, it's still trying to figure it out as we go.
Hey man, all you can do is the best you can and let everything happen as it's gonna happen. So, are you up for answering some questions for the from the audience?
Yeah, 100%. I love answering the questions. That's actually my favorite part of live streams. We love answering just on the fly. I haven't had a phone question before though, so that'll be fun.
All right, people. I told you guys you want to be calling in tonight, so the Vyp lines are open, baby. So if you want to call and ask me or Justin a question, the lines are open. We're at 219-440-1003. If you guys got questions, like I said, for me or Justin, if you want to talk tech or whatever, we're here. The Vyp line's open. Do what you got to do. If you don't want to call, you can. If you want to answer your question in the chat, you can do that too. But like I said, the Vyp line's open. 219-440-1003. If you guys want to talk to me or Justin, we're here, baby. We're here. I don't have them for much longer, so y'all might want to hurry up and get your calls in. Man. Woo! Oh my goodness. Oh man, you're getting personal, huh? Like, how old is Justin? We go right for the jugular, huh? I don't know if you want
I turned 23 in May.
Wow.
It feels old though, because I've been doing the same thing every day since I was a kid. So it's like, yeah, it's a bit weird for sure.
Wow. I mean, that's, at the same time though, it has to be pretty cool, man. Like finding out what you want to do like at such a young age and just sticking with it for 10 years and like you're still like just starting out. I mean, you got a long time to go, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It's how long I can continue doing videos like at this pace. Where like right now, I love it. Like 7 days a week, we're editing till midnight. I threw a projector in my office so I can watch hockey and not miss the games and still be able to knock out some edits and everything. But right now, it is still like full commitment into into this. I think I'm very lucky to be able to do this full time, and I want to make the most of it. Which is why right now, no breaks or anything. Just everything's just making sure work and everything. But I think with putting some of the home videos and that kind of thing, it could be an indication as to what could be the next step. Say I'm like in my 30s, like real estate investments, the just like the development industry and stuff like that. I think that is an area that I have a lot of interest in, but it is kind of weird to think about. Like, say I'm like 30 or 33, that'll be exactly 20 years on YouTube.
Crazy. I mean, God willing, man, God willing. So I also know that you recently just started doing your own podcast. So talk about how you've been doing with the podcast.
Yeah. So we wanted to do a podcast for a while. I think I don't know if anybody notices, but the way I talk on shows like these and with podcasts is much more natural than I am on video. Like I personally, the least favorite part of my job is sitting in front of the camera to do an A-roll. There's just so much anxiety with it. You got to cover certain points and like all that kind of stuff. And I just feel like I'm very awkward on camera. Whereas like a live show like this, with a great setting, I think is like the way that I like to talk. And I think the podcast is the way that we're able to talk about topics. I feel like I'm a pretty transparent person. So whenever there's like questions about like how to do this or how to do that, I'm always happy to answer them. And like, there's no time to reply to every single comment and all that on YouTube.
Voicemail. Goodbye.
Yeah, there's like a lot of times on YouTube, there's no direct way and like candid way to answer a lot of the questions, just because usually we're busy trying to make the videos. So the podcast is like a weekend project during coronavirus. My friend and I were just like, yo, like every Saturday, Sunday, parents' basement, let's just get a black slat wall built, throw some LEDs on there. Some of us had our equipment. Rode hooked us up with like all this stuff as well. Let's just do a video podcast and just no expectations. Like, we don't care how many downloads it gets. We don't care how many views it gets. We don't care if people like, well, we do care if people like it or not, but it's supposed to be like a no filter environment. Brought some friends who came on some trips to tell stories, and yeah, it's done better than we expected for sure. But I've been kind of neglecting it the past couple weeks, just because a week passes by, 2 weeks passes by, and you're like, oh shoot, I haven't uploaded or haven't recorded a podcast, and YouTube is still like the main priority. But I think it's good to try different things and not like force it, because it is, at the end of the day, something that we just do for fun. It doesn't make any money at all. It cost me a lot of money actually, because I had to hire an editor to help me cut it and do the Instagram, because I just don't have time for that. So yeah, right now it's a negative investment, but nevertheless, we're very happy with the support that has come from it.
That's pretty cool. Hey, whoever tried to call the Vyp line, I'm sorry, I missed the call. Call back and we'll take your call. But yeah, podcasting is pretty cool, man. It's like a lot different from what we do on YouTube. I've done a podcast for about 1.5 years now, and I have a lot of fun doing it, talking to different people and things like that. All right,
yeah.
Here we go.
Call from
Alex Jackson.
All right.
To accept, press 1. To send a voice.
All right, we got the Apple Jockey on the line with Viper and Justin. What's up, dude? How you doing?
Good. I tried to call earlier and it said that it was not available or something.
Well, we are available, so how can we help you tonight, man?
So I was just wanting to ask, so you got the Note 9 Ultra, which is the Note 9 to get, right?
You mean the Note 20, right?
I mean, Note 20, sorry. I said the wrong thing. So do you think like Samsung is going to continue doing the Note line, or are they going to merge the Fold and the Note together?
Oh, that is a good question. There's been a lot of talk about this, possibly the end of the Note line. I don't know, man, because I think Samsung likes to do a lot of experimenting with the Note 9, so I don't think the Note line is going to go away. I mean, there have been talk about the Fold getting an S Pen at some point. I think they even talked about that at the event or something like that. But I don't know, Justin, what do you think? Do you think the Note line is going away anytime soon?
In my opinion, the Fold is in a way built to slowly replace the Note line. Like it just seems to make sense if it was that way. You have such a large screen. First generation wasn't even that bad. I think it was a relatively decent execution, but can be much better. And eventually with like the the Z Flip and stuff. I think that line is going to start replacing things. We did have a call with Samsung a couple months ago. I don't think I'm not going to talk. I can't talk about like the details of it, but it looks like there are things that are going to be done to kind of figure out what the future of the mobile industry is as a whole, not just like the Note line.
Okay. All right. There you go, Alex. Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate you. All right, you all, the Vyp line is still open. If you want to talk to me or Justin, the number is 219-440-1003. You can call, talk to us about tech or whatever. We will take your phone call. We'll take your questions, man. This is Friday night. This is what we do, people. So call in. But yeah, I love doing my podcast because, like I said, it's a lot different from doing YouTube videos. It allows me to do longer form content. I don't have to I don't have to try to fit everything within 5 to 8 minutes. I can talk, I can ramble, do whatever, and just have fun with it. So podcasting is awesome.
For sure. Yeah, maybe I might even start just doing some of the phone stuff on there. Like when the Note 20 comes, just sit down for 10 minutes and chat about it. Because on the main channel, you feel like the phone videos almost feel like I gotta try to prove something, because otherwise the video is just not going to do well. Right. When you've got like Marquez and people who are really good at Mr. Mobile who cover it in like extreme detail, whereas I'm like, it's still sitting in the box, or Canada hasn't sent it to us yet, or whatever things could possibly happen. It's so I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out my kind of strategy with the phone space specifically.
All right. So you know what? I got a question for you, because obviously with the way things are going down with the pandemic, we've been having a lot of mailing and shipping issues here in the US. But I am constantly hearing about shipping and mailing issues in Canada. What are y'all doing up there? What is going on with postal service in Canada? Do y'all just what's happening, Justin? Why is it so bad? And why do Canadians constantly complain about postal service in Canada?
It's honestly, for us, it hasn't been that bad. There was a month or so during the middle of everything where UPS was pretty much using the COVID excuse for as long as possible. Even when FedEx was back to delivering express packages the same day, Apple sent us the XDR display, and it was stuck in the local warehouse for 15 days and nobody knew where it was. And Apple PR is like, oh my God, we might have to send another one because we have no idea where this thing is. And Apple, Apple, classic Apple fashion, they'll pay for the most expensive shipping, morning delivery before 10 a.m. from Ontario to Victoria, the next flight that gets here kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so it was in the middle of that. We didn't have it for 2 weeks or so. It was worth the wait, but yeah, it's not that bad anymore. It's gotten pretty good. If anything, I found it to be a little bit faster even recently.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, it was bad for a little bit, but I think shipping to Canada now is not too big of an issue. Back then, I think in 2011, 2012, companies were hesitant to send stuff to Canada, and nowadays there isn't as much of a stigma anymore. Everything will, and I live on an island, which is also a bit of a unique case. It's not in Vancouver, the mainland. It's got to take an extra flight, but yeah, for the most part, I'd say the shipping system is not too big of a concern.
That's cool, because I've heard some of your fellow Canadians, and they are not been too kind.
The ones out east, yeah. The ones out east seem to be having more issues.
Yeah, man, they have not been too kind about you guys in postal service up there. They have been complaining left and right, and I've been kind of feeling them, man. So I don't know, it's kind of crazy out there.
There's definitely been times where I've been extremely angry at shipping, but then once a couple more packages come through, all the hard feelings are lost, and then right after you're like, oh, they're doing pretty good, they end up doing something else to piss you off again.
Oh, absolutely, always. It's always a never-ending vicious cycle.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. You said last year you went to a lot of tech events, so I'm curious, what was your favorite tech event you ever been to?
The problem with last year was the trips were so tight together that I wasn't able to appreciate each one. It was full exhaustion. Just to try to remember where we went last year. Most of these were for mobile events, but it was we did Toronto, we did New York a couple times. New York, I think there was one year I did six times in 3 months. It was Google. So Google and Samsung and OnePlus all love to do New York. OnePlus is releasing 2 phones a year now. And then you also have, I think, San Francisco for Samsung as well. And there's also a Canon event in Toronto. And then there's a few that were overseas. So Oppo did one in Zurich, Switzerland. Logitech did a campus tour in Geneva. And then Dyson did a tour in England. And then there was also an Oppo photo trip in Japan. And then there was also a trip late 2018 that was Milan, Italy with Oppo. So Oppo definitely picks the best destinations. They always try to do something new, and like Switzerland was like absolutely beautiful. It's like easily the most beautiful place. So I was very lucky to be able to go there twice within the span of 3 months. The second trip, I spent more time in the hotel than I was outside because I was trying to catch up on the jet lag from the previous trip. But I would say Switzerland and Tokyo were definitely the best trips, both of which were pretty short. You really have to squeeze that schedule in if you're trying to do a travel film. Um, the event itself was like whatever. It's like your typical Asian phone company press event, a little bit long, a lot of talking. There's actually an Instagram story of me completely asleep at one of the Oppo events in Zurich, and it's because I flew 20 hours to get there. And so my videographer at the time, he's sitting next to me, and I'm just like this. I'm like completely knocked out. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. The press events themselves are not like too exciting. Samsung always does a good show though. Hopefully we get to go to an Apple event next year. We started to repair the relationship on that side, but haven't been to San Francisco for Apple before, and I'm sure that will be very nice. But I'm trying to think what else. Oh yeah, Huawei did Paris as well. That was a big event. There was like 3,000 people in there. But yeah, I would say the Chinese companies definitely put a lot of money into their events. So I mean, it's hard to say. Some of them are just really nice and they're very well put together, whereas some of them you like them because they're really short. Like you don't want to listen to the phone for 2 hours because a lot of times tech creators get pre-briefed. So we've already been sitting in a phone call or looked at all the documents, or they've taken us into a room for 2 hours, and then they want you to attend and do some social stuff, and you've already heard everything 3 times.
Right. I got you. All right. So you said something very interesting about a minute or so ago. You said that you are finally beginning to repair the relationship with Apple. So what is it repairing, Justin? What you do over there? What you do over there?
Yeah, I don't know if it was just down to the contact that I had before, but there was always a bit of a miscommunication with them, and there was like certain practices that kind of left a sour taste. So the higher up kind of reached out and wanted to just have an open discussion about it, and we were brutally honest, and we weren't sure if we ruined somebody's job reputation or something. But yeah, they've been good now, and but obviously Apple at the end of the day is Apple. They can do whatever they want. They're very preferential and very strict on certain things. And as a creator, you really have to find that balance with media. You have to, like, obviously getting a product before it comes out is a huge advantage. It's actually almost more important than compensation to review product. Like having that early jump, especially with Apple, is huge. And it's like Apple obviously wants you to say certain things, and they don't say it directly, but they give the impression, and that can factor a lot with your relationship you have with them. But at the same time, by having early access, they also put you through a lot of these calls with people who are literally making the product, and we have that direct line. So, for example, my Mac Pro is being a piece of junk, so I can just email the person who is like essentially making it on the team and say, "Hey, I'm having this problem," and they can just go to the engineer and they can give me an answer within an hour of like yes, this can be done, this can't be done, this will improve the update, or this sort of thing. So it also, I think, as a creator, having that relation helps the audience as well, because we're able to learn about the product a little bit better. A lot of times nowadays, when you're a tech reviewer trying to review a phone on the first day it comes out, by the time you get it on the first day, you're already considered late. And naturally, you feel that pressure to start filming the content right away, and you don't get to spend as much time on that. So I think having the jump and having the embargo immunity is really good to have. But at the same time, I really hate embargoes because it's just like there's too many videos coming out at the same time. And if anything, we find that performance is actually worse unless it's Apple. Like OnePlus stuff, the views suck if you're doing an embargo, unless you're Marquez. Samsung stuff, we saw one of our worst results off of that. And I flew 10 hours in one day just to be on the land for 3 hours to film. And then I got on the next flight back so I could start editing. And the video gets like 15,000 views. And I'm like, well, that really sucks. Because I was up from 3 a.m. trying to get to Toronto and all that, and carried all the equipment with me by hand. And the video just performs like that. So you learn from it, kind of thing.
Okay. I'm curious, since you've been doing it for so long, what advice would you give to like up and coming creators like such as myself who want to get these established relationship with these brands, like maybe like getting early access to devices or just having like some type of relationship with somebody in the brand? Like, what is the best way to go about establishing that relationship as an up and coming creator?
I think the tough thing is a lot of these brands are still a little bit behind in philosophy. In our case, where like creators are always talking about like subscribers don't matter, the numbers don't really matter. It's about what you create, how you interact with your audience, and like in your case, I really like how you do like the live show. It's very consistent. You never miss a week, and it's a way to have that open conversation. Whereas like I remember back when I started YouTube, I was able to respond to every single comment. But now like and back then I would say I'm going to be the creator that responds to every comment and every message and tries to interact. But like right now, I like there's no time. Like I eat 2 meals, sometimes 1 meal a day, and I'm editing till 1 a.m. There is just no time to be able to do that. So I think it's very important to stay consistent with the content, and these brands do look at numbers a little bit too much, which is unfortunate a lot of the times. But yeah, I think I might not be the best person to ask because I definitely took a lot longer to develop these relationships than others, just because I was in school, didn't attend any of the events, didn't know how it really worked. But I just started buying stuff and doing the best content I could. Back in the day, I was kind of spending every cent I had on one phone, like when they were $800. And the strategy with being a small channel was to cover every single feature in a separate video. So I think I made 20 videos of the Samsung Galaxy S4, because as a small channel, I wasn't sure if one video was able to kind of cover the cost or weigh the risk. So the strategy was, let's make 20 videos and hope that one or two of them will do well. And back then it worked. Nowadays it might not. But yeah, it was just trying to just push as much as possible, and eventually the brands will start to reach out. And for a few years, I'm sure nowadays there's a lot of people who can give great advice on like how to work with these brands. But the first few years, when I was working with say like Samsung, I would always get screwed. Like I would drive to Vancouver and spend my own money to get on the ferry, which was like $100, and drive to the briefing, and I wouldn't even get a device. So I'd be going there to sit in the hotel room for like 2-3 hours, and I'd come back home and I'd have nothing, and I'm like, wow, like I just got screwed. And it wasn't until I spoke up about it, like, this isn't cool. Like, I can provide more value if you guys just gave me the device. It's a waste of my time and money, even as a small creator, to have to drive there and attend your briefing when I can't even review the thing. So yeah, I would say just trying to cover it in a unique perspective, and the brands from there will notice. And I think the US pool especially has a lot of leeway. They work with large and small creators, whereas back in the day, there would only be like, if you look at Apple as an example, only a couple creators would ever get access. Like, we never ever thought widespread YouTube would ever get to go to an Apple event.
Yeah, I would say things have definitely changed in the last 3 to 4 years with that. Like I said, more and more brands are starting to realize the value of creators of all channel sizes.
Yeah,
so that's a pretty cool thing. Definitely, man. Definitely. Whew. Well, I know you told me that you had to go get.
No, I still got like 30 minutes. I still got 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful with me. You give me time, I'll use it, because these live takes go long sometimes. So don't let me hold you up.
I'm the one that's talking too much.
It's all good, man. Like I said, I love like getting the chance to talk to you all one-on-one, because a lot of you all that I talk to, you all are people that I've watched like a long time before I started doing video myself. I didn't start doing YouTube till 2018, man. So I'm almost like 3 years into this. But like I said, I've been watching you for a while. I've been watching people like Justin and Marquez and Peter and Flossie. I mean, all of you all been watching for a long time before I ever started doing video for myself. So I'm always like happy to get a chance to talk to you guys directly about what's happening in the space and things like that. Because I mean, I never thought I'd be sitting here talking to you. Like, you would have told me like 4 years ago you'd be having a conversation with Justin in 4 years. I'm like, not really, but. And cool though, and cool. Like, a lot of people that I've met by being a creator, it's like so cool. You guys have been so open and honest and things like that, and giving up your time with me, and I appreciate it. So thank you again.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. Like, I enjoy doing these. We don't get to do it very often, but right. Yeah, I love doing this, and like and sitting down and just very casual. And Q&As are always a ton of fun as well, because you never know what to expect. And yeah, like similar to the podcast, the whole intention of it is just to give another side of what we see on YouTube. Because yeah, like YouTube, a lot of times there's only so much you can show, and most whenever a video does well, it's people who don't know what you do or subscribe to you and all that, who see the video and then they'll comment assumptions and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, these are definitely like, this is probably my favorite medium, where you have like the Q&A and like the chat feed and all that stuff. Whereas the podcast, we're still not doing it live yet, just because it's just too much headache.
Oh man, you gotta try live podcast, man. It could be fun.
We do like the Zoom calls and stuff, and we try to. I like what you did with like the one link. I think the biggest thing was whenever you have to do too many steps for the creator to get into the podcast, they're less likely to want to do it. So we kind of in the message, we'll say like, it's going to be one link, just click on it and you're in, kind of thing, and we'll take care of all the technical stuff. But yeah, I can't. A lot of times when we're interviewing guests, I'm like setting this thing up like 2 minutes before we're about to go live, because it's like a Saturday morning and I'm trying to get a little bit more sleep than on the other days. But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So given that you've been doing it for a very long time, and you've already talked about how long it takes you to do some of the videos that you've done in the past, what is the longest you've ever taken to work on a single video?
Like start to finish, or just like continuously focused?
Like start to finish.
Because there's some that sit in the timeline for 3 months and then and then they end up coming out and like start to finish. Ooh. I used to spend, I think like there could be like times where 2 weeks was probably already pushing it. Yeah, I'd say 2 weeks. Like I used to do the phone reviews, couple weeks and all that. But it would be doing a lot of unnecessary things and very nitpicky details, and like flying out or driving and going to another city to film just to give the viewers a different backdrop. Stuff like that, that like I'm not sure if anybody cares about, but personally I was just like, I want to make this a good one, and that's kind of what we leverage to build the relationships with brands. So yeah, it's yeah, I would say 2 weeks. Nowadays there might be a video that's in and out of editing for 1 or 2 weeks, but we try to keep it within about a week, and in some cases there's a couple days. The problem is with sponsorships, there's always these like really dumb approval processes, and that just delays the process really badly. Like they're all due on the same day or this and that, and it's just like you're going all over the place. But obviously when you're wanting to make investments like purchasing property and hiring staff, then that is a very important area that you have to organize and integrate with your content, while also ensuring that the channel is growing effectively.
Definitely. I think it's interesting, like especially when you get to like a level where you are. A lot of viewers don't know how much behind the scenes stuff goes into running a YouTube channel. It is a lot more than what you guys see on camera. There's stuff like with promoting the video, like doing all the admin stuff, like title, tags, description, thumbnails, all that stuff. Not to mention, like you said, dealing with brands and sponsorships and things like that, deadlines, whatever the case may be. There's a lot that goes into it that the viewer just does not know.
Yeah. Like I think the comment that we used to get the most of whenever a video would go viral and hit a realm outside of the YouTube space is like, what do you even do for a living? Tell me what your full-time job is. This guy's using his dad's money, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I've been doing this for 10 years. I started out YouTube with business knowledge because when I was a kid, I loved to sell stuff on Craigslist, and how I made money the first few years was selling the products, like the cases for $20 each. So I was like, you guys don't realize that behind the scenes you have, so this is like just the creator side. You have your emails to reach out for product. You have your brand deals. You have your approval process. You have planning the video, filming the video, editing the video, publishing the video, doing the photo, sending it to the brand, communicating with your audience on like Twitter. You have multiple platforms to make. So for Instagram, it's vertical photos, stories, and then you also have Twitter, which is horizontal. And then you have YouTube, which is video delivery. And you have like obviously the audio and video part to figure out. And then you have to take a look at like which products are coming out and how to effectively be quick at making content. And then on top of that, I would say in 2018, when I dropped out, I had to form a company just because I was getting taxed. Like half my money was ending up in the government because I didn't set up my company properly. And I didn't know that until I got the bill. So setting up a company, hiring full-time staff, We have to hire payroll, and then your accounting firm you have to hire to like do all your finances, but you still have to do all of the putting stuff together, your expenses, your this and that, your work safe benefits, whatever insurance for employees, even if you're sitting at your house all day, like sitting on our ass and doing some editing and all that. You have to pay like all the insurance and all that. And that was all new to me. Like even after going to business school for 3 years, nobody taught me any of this stuff. So the accountant kind of sat me down and drew on a whiteboard on explaining company structures, and you figure that out. And then after that, you have like your staffing, and then you have all the planning stuff. And then in 2018 to 2019, the traveling on top of everything. And traveling throws off everything. Like your emails are all behind, your videos are all behind, you're tired as hell, and then you have certain things to cover while you're on site on little sleep. So yeah, it's so that's like those are just some of the elements that are involved. And I think even today we were just joking. I was joking with my full-time buddy who was in my university class, but he didn't drop out. But he gets paid pretty decent for a first year out of university kid. And I was joking with him that if we broke down our hourly pay, we're both probably getting paid the same because I pay myself a salary out of my company. And when we calculated how many hours that I work a week, because we work 9 to 5, and then I'll go have dinner, and then I'll edit from 8 to 12 to 1, and then on weekends I'll put in another 12 hours a day. We calculated that we were putting in about I think 90 hours a week on a consistent basis. And then some days I might take like a Sunday off to clean the house or anything, but it's like all just to prepare to be able to start everything again on Monday.
Ooh. That, folks, is what we call the grind, and it never stops.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one because like influencer, like as a word, has been kind of scrutinized heavily, and in a lot of cases, it's with good reason. Like you see a lot of things like in certain industries that don't give it a good rep, and it is true. Some people get paid a lot of money for doing very little, but I think there is a side to it that it essentially is an entire business. It's a small business, and if anything, there's actually more work than a small business, and you're running it on your own in a lot of cases. I think a lot of people do it as like a complete like sole proprietor, and you're involved in every aspect of the process. But I think the reason why I wanted to continue to do YouTube is because it opens up a lot of doors, and it teaches you a lot of skills in different areas. So say I want to go into videography, I can go into videography. If I want to go into the PR world and talent management, that's an area as well. If I want to start a media agency, it's very similar to YouTube. Or if I want to become like a business administrator or a project manager, that kind of stuff, that kind of all ties together. So I feel like as a kid, it's a great job to start when you're 13 because you learn a little bit of everything and you build those skills eventually. And if you want to go into one tangent or another, you definitely can. So yeah, the thing is like, we do like a channel like in full-time state. Obviously like people will look at the rates for like an integration or dedicated and they're like, holy crap, like that's a lot of money for doing that. But at the same time, it's like you're committing your entire life, and every second and everything you do is like revolved around this. You're thinking about it 24 hours, and that's kind of how I describe it. Like, yeah, we are getting rewarded quite nicely, but it's the work is. I think a lot of people wouldn't want to do it in this type of schedule for 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, rough, but you get it done. he said, wait a minute, how old is this guy? This guy is 23 running his own company full time. Yeah.
Well, I mean, right now I'm able to spend 90 hours a week just because I'm single, don't have any kids, and like I have full control over my schedule, so I can spend as much or as little time as I want on YouTube as possible. Like there's no real commitments. Like for dinner, I'll go back to my parents' house, so I go back every day, say hi to them and chat for a couple hours, and then I'll come back to work, and then it's obviously something that you can't do fully, but I think no matter what age you start, it's definitely doable. Back when I started YouTube, I was in school full time, middle school and high school. So if somebody was starting in their 20s, your full-time job will essentially be your version of going to school. And if you are really into YouTube and are committed enough, then you would be willing to put in the time that you would have or consider as leisure to do YouTube. So I think the reason why I found that at an early age, YouTube was something that I could do for a long time is because instead of going out with friends and doing other stuff. I would spend every weekend and every day after school, I would just be making videos and well, I liked hockey a lot, and I still love hockey. That was like kind of my hobby, but at the same time, I would be like editing. I'd be like editing a video with one hand, and I would be gaming on the other hand, playing NHL. And whenever there was like a face-off or a stoppage in play, I'll just like stick my hand over and just try to cut a little bit of the clip. So at least if I was gaming for 8 hours, the video would be like 20% done.
Nice.
So yeah, it was like yeah, it is hard to find what you truly love when you're young. I did get a little bit lucky in finding it quite early and sticking to it over the years, because like between age 13 and 18, it's so easy to just like jump around and
Yep.
and quit something whenever you have some doubts. And I mean, I even had some doubts in 2017, as if I was wanting to continue or not.
Hey, I mean, at some point, like we all have those doubts, but like I said, you've been able to push through them and get to where you are because you work hard and you stay on the grind, and that's what's up.
I think even when you have those doubts, you still got to create stuff, because even if you're spending time to think about what you want to do, the problem is a lot of times if you're thinking of quitting it, if you stop doing it for a few months, naturally your performance is going to be much worse, and that's not going to help convince yourself that you should continue doing it.
Yeah.
So that's why I think even when in 2017, when I had a lot of doubts in general, like whether to go to school or whether to do anything, or what I wanted to do, we still created videos. So on YouTube, everything still looked like it was normal. Maybe the videos were a little bit worse than before and they were less frequent. But I still made sure, like, no matter what, I would pull myself out of bed and just like film a video here and there. And I think that's the advice that I have, no matter what age.
Definitely. So what is your favorite part of being a YouTube creator?
There's a lot of, I think I almost think it's, from a business perspective, it is like the ultimate business plan and combination of creative, administrative, negotiating, sales, and all this kind of stuff. I think what I think is crazy right now is the amount of leverage that creators have based on the amount of value they're able to provide the brands. Take the renovation series, for example. We did the home series before, and the first time I filmed my condo, I couldn't afford any new furniture because I just put it all in the down payment and all the transfer tax and all that garbage. So I had all this like crappy IKEA furniture, and I didn't do any renovations to the entire place for 2 years. But I filmed the place on an iPhone, and it ended up getting 1 million views. And I did like bedroom videos, living room videos, and it ended up getting like 2 million. So last year I was like, let's do a renovation and turn it into a series. So you take that data, 2 million views, and you send it off to brands. And like Quartz kitchen countertops, those things are like 10, 15 grand to do like the countertop and the backsplash. So what we decided to do is we contacted all the countertop companies, we contacted all of the hardware companies, we contacted all the furniture companies, and in this case, the house right now is mainly furnished by Rove Concepts. I had purchased one of their beds in 2017. Everything else was IKEA because no money. And that bed cost me $2,000, and my parents were like, "You're so stupid for buying that." But I did the video; it got 400,000 views. I linked a trackable link in the description, and they ended up getting 15,000 clicks to their website just off that one link. So we contacted the countertop company and said, "We're doing a series. We're doing a makeover. We're doing home tours and everything. I'll feature your countertop in there for 3 videos and all that." They provided all the countertop for free. All the hardware for the house was also provided for free. And then for the furniture company, we contacted them and said, "Hey, we got you 15,000 clicks. My house still has half IKEA. So why don't we change that and have the entire place featuring Rove Concept exclusively in a series that is going to be much better in quality and in content, and your product's going to be linked there." So they ended up providing, I think, 15 grand in furniture, anything we wanted from the site. They sent it over, and we ended up doing that series, and we got them 33,000 more clicks. So we took that data again, and for this new office, we're like, "Hey, we got you 33,000 clicks. Let's do it again." This series is going to be even bigger because we have the momentum of the first series, the makeover series, and the home series to kind of put that all together. And we'll also give you licensed content from our professional photographer. So going back to the main question, I think it's crazy how many avenues you can go and how many ways you can position your business pitch to have leverage in different areas. So like countertops are covered again. And like standing desks, and anything we need are covered. And then, of course, there's paid sponsors like Dyson, who we'll probably do like a 1-year partnership with, and they'll fund the labor part of the renovation based on their sponsorship fees, plus give you all the product, and plus you on your portfolio you're associated with Dyson. So I think it's so cool, like the opportunities that can come from this. And like the reason why I think it's interesting is because our channel is still not even like that big. Like we're not in the millions yet, but we've tried to make the most of what we have and the resources to be able to do as much as we can. And that's like just the product side. I know like a lot of times people are like, oh, we hate it when creators ask for free stuff, but at the end of the day, you're providing advertising material, and that's stuff that the company's actually saving money, because instead of you charging them for promotional, they're just providing their product and they're getting, it's a both way. So I think it's cool how it's able to be brought together and adapted outside of just the tech industry. And when we travel, I also think that's another area where when we get to the destination, we're like how could 13-year-old me sitting in the parents' bedroom imagine that we'd be at the Swiss Alps for free, or getting paid to go to the Swiss Alps and like taking photos of like the nicest view I've ever seen in my entire life. So yeah, I think it's just like the opportunities, and that's what really keeps it exciting this many years in.
I am so glad you brought up that point about being afraid to like ask for expensive products and things like that. When I first started doing this, I was like kind of afraid to ask the company for expensive product and things like that, because I didn't know how much value that I could offer as a creator just starting out. But it's funny because recently I contacted my guy Nomad. I'm like, can you send me out one of those stainless steel bands? And I didn't even think twice about it. Like, now this band normally it's like $200, but I think so back like 2 years ago about it, then I'd been like scared to do that. But now, after doing so many Nomad videos, and I can't even count how much money I've made that company over the past year or two that I've been doing video for their products, I didn't even have a second thought about it. And the dude came back with me like 5 minutes later. He's like, yeah, what's your address? So, I mean,
Chuck's always going crazy on the emails.
Chuck is amazing, man. I love Chuck. It was cool. I actually had him on a live stream a few months ago. Chuck is amazing, man. But yeah, Chuck is amazing. But yeah, I like now I'm just like, all right, Chuck, can you send me that out? And he's like, yeah, no problem. But because I've established that value with Nomad, they know if I do a video on a product, then they're gonna get a lot of attention. So
it never hurts to ask. I think you never know. Like it's just so ruthless. Like when I was like 13, I was obviously like really ruthless. Like I felt like I deserved stuff even when I had no numbers to back it up. And it wasn't until one company like gave me the chance to. The guy was smart. The PR guy was like, hit 2,000 subs and hit 2,000 views, and I'll send you what you want. And so that got me going. I was like, I'm gonna film 10 videos a day and like film anything I can find, and I'm gonna hit 2,000 subscribers. And that I still remember to this day. Skin It was one that sent me the first product. It just never hurts to ask. I think you never know what to expect. There's things that you think you'll be able to get pretty easily, and the amount of leverage, and you explain it to them, and they're like, they just don't get it,
right.
And it's not worth your time. But there's also stuff where you never expect, and you end up getting like countertops. Who would have thought? I've had troubles with getting appliances, even though appliances have more technology than countertops. But both renovations, the quartz countertop was completely free. So I was like, this just doesn't make any sense, but it never hurts to ask. And I think a funny story was back in, I think 2018, I wanted to review a car, and it was a really stupid idea. It was like, I want to drive this car 1,000 kilometers on a road trip, and no company's going to let you drive their press unit 1,000 kilometers. That's just ridiculous. And so I emailed Jaguar Land Rover, and I was like, hey, can I borrow a Range Rover, like $100,000 Range Rover? And I was like 19 years old at the time. I was like, can I borrow that? And they were like, not really, but we're going to Formula E next week, and do you want to come? At the time, I didn't know what Formula E was, but when we got there, it was like the nicest hotel I've ever stayed at. They had the paddock pass, which I found out later was worth thousands. There's like Kate Upton sitting 5 feet away, and it was like, it was the best trip I've ever been on. And it was just from one email that was completely unrelated. And I later found out that the PR guy actually has a very small circle, and that I was essentially like an experiment for the company, just to do the social media, because I noticed everybody on the trip was like between the age of 30 to 80, and there's only 5. And I was like, so what am I doing here? I'm like 18 years old. Or 19 years old, or whatever it was. I was dressed really badly. I think that's why. That's probably one of the factors. And I also dropped my camera before the race started and have to shoot everything on an iPhone. But yeah, it was. I think that's like, you never know what's going to come up. Like you don't like last year, for example. We'd be in like one spot, and then we're like in a chocolate factory in Switzerland, and then you get an email saying, "Oh, let's go to." Somebody's email says, do you want to come to Hong Kong in 1 week, or Beijing, or whatever it is, and use like it's just all over the place. And I think you have to balance it out. But at my age right now, I'm kind of like, if I don't do these things or I don't take every opportunity, I'm gonna regret not going on that one trip or whatever it was.
Right. It's cool, man. Like you said, YouTube brings so many opportunities, and you just don't know. And it's like I've been telling people for the last like year or so, you got to shoot your shot, because you never know what can come from shooting your shot. You might get rejected, you might get accepted, but you don't know.
I've never tried that with dating, but with tech products, no hesitation.
I know, right? I know. I've been where you.
I'm too scared to shoot my shot in the other the other area. So I think we're gonna have this.
That works across the entire bound to go beyond tech. So you better shoot your shot in dating too, man. You never know, man. You never know. Hey, man, I've been there.
Way too scared.
I mean, I used to be scared as hell, so I know how you feel, man. But you got to shoot your shot. You just got to do it. Life is too short. You don't know, man. You got to shoot your shot. So I want to ask you something. I'm pretty sure you watched that Samsung Live event for the Note 20.
I did.
You did or you didn't?
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
I actually didn't even attend the briefing. I sent my buddy to attend the briefing because I was too busy that week. So it was just like, so they put you in these like 2-hour meetings, and I was like, I really don't want to go on a 2-hour Zoom call. It's just like, please send me the PDF and I'll read it. But so I didn't do the online thing. So when I messaged the rep, like we like messaged on Instagram, I was like, yo, why'd you send me a pink one? And she's like, maybe if you watch a live stream, you'd know it isn't even called pink.
That's funny. So this dude is such a boss that he sent his dude like, yeah, you don't do that. I ain't do that. You do that. That's hilarious.
I should attend them, but I'm definitely not like a classroom person. Like I can't really sit still for 2 hours to listen to something.
Especially, I mean, if it was anything like that actual event, then you definitely didn't miss it. And that event was terrible, Justin. It was horrible.
Was it worse than the PlayStation 5 one?
Much worse. Much worse.
Really?
Yeah. It was bad. It was, you didn't miss anything. Be glad you missed it, because you didn't miss anything. It was terrible.
The last event I watched was the Apple WWDC.
You see, you watched the gold standard of event. That's the gold standard.
They shot that thing on a red. You could tell right away, and we're like, wow, like the screen looks so perfect. They shot that thing on a red for sure. You can see like, you can kind of tell what the look is, and I was like, okay, that's good. But yeah, I didn't watch a Samsung briefing. It's kind of sad to hear that it sucks now, because back in the day, Samsung Galaxy S4, the briefing was in like the music hall in New York, and I remember watching that, and I was like, man, I wonder if I'll ever get to go to one of these events nowadays in the future. And then now it's like, I really don't want to go to another one of these events, but I don't mind going on another trip. So actually, the Samsung event in New York, I think it was the Note. They were having like an announcement, and they're just like doing the product stuff, and in the end they always ramble with the accessories and all this other stuff that I personally don't care as much about.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to go to the washroom, and I went outside, and they had all the demos out already, so I just didn't go back into the event. I was just eating all the snacks before everybody was lining up and playing with the phones and everything, and I just texted my videographer, and I was like, yo, can you grab the camera? I'm not coming back. And it was actually it was Peter and Marquez sitting behind. And yeah, I was like half the event I was just out in the snack area.
That's brilliant. You got your hands.
Those tech shows are a zoo. Those tech events are so crowded. Everybody's running for the demo units. So I was like, man, nobody's out here. Let's just start playing around with the.
Hey, if they let you, I mean, why not, right? If they're gonna let you play with it, right? I mean, that's brilliant, because like you said, I mean, I've never been to one myself, but I've seen like how crowded those demo areas are. So if you can get your hands on before
people run for them. I think YouTubers are lucky in the fact that we get to play with the stuff beforehand or get a briefing. Mm-hmm. But general media runs for the stuff. Like the Google event. I think the last Pixel event last year, they had the best food of any event, but everybody was so busy filming it that nobody ate it. And I was like walking around with like 3 of those lunch kits. Because I'm always late. I'm late for everything. So I missed breakfast. And I just showed up at the event. And for YouTubers, they give you like the guest pass and all that kind of stuff just to like cross the line and everything. So we already have our videos done in a lot of cases, and they're ready to go in embargoes. So when there's a snack zone, we're like chilling there, and we're wondering like, wow, like why do YouTubers get better access and treatment than general media that like it's super noticeable. Like, yeah, like
oh, now this is a conversation I've had on this live stream a few times because I don't know about you, Justin, but I've never been into an event, but just by interacting and seeing what's happening on Twitter, you can seriously detect the dislike from mainstream like tech media, how they dislike YouTubers, dude.
You know how bad it is? OnePlus, for example, does a separate dinner for at different restaurants for media and for YouTube, and so does Huawei. So in Paris, they booked 2 different restaurants, and the reps would go from one dinner to another, and it was completely separate. Like, and even different hotels actually.
Wow, really?
It's like, because I think the thing is, it's not because we sell more phones for the company, and it's not because more people view our content, but I notice this especially in the car industry. It's all about the brand image in the creator's mind. Car companies especially, they, at least in my case, because I'm not in the car space, we didn't get paid to go to either car event, but the experience was better than anything else. Whereas tech events, they might pay you, but they'll just drop you off. They'll fly you there, get you a hotel, and then you just do whatever you want, which I kind of like as well. Whereas the other events, they have like a full itinerary, restaurants, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, the what I noticed was like tech creators always had like a special. They had like, or influencers in general. They just they have like an itinerary to present an image of the product, whereas media, they just want to get to the meat, like the product, the information and text and all that stuff. And even with Samsung, we noticed that like the tech guys and the Instagrammers, the Instagrammers still had it a little bit better than us, but we were like kind of the in between. And then mainstream media, we don't even know where they are. They're probably like still in the arena, filming their briefing content.
Wow. Okay, this is the first I'm hearing of like companies treating different groups of people differently. Like it's
definitely separate. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that I can understand as the reason for like mainstream tech publications being mad at us, like creators, because I didn't know they got treated differently at these events. I just thought everybody was like treated the same way. I didn't know there was like separate experiences for people. Wow, that's something.
Oh, it's very different. Like I think Samsung, the Instagrammers got to go to like a vineyard, and then we got the same dinner as the bloggers, but then none of the tech guys wanted to go to the vineyard because they want to start filming the tech stuff. So it's kind of like a mix in between of what it is. And some brands do it better than others. Like some of them will give you the pre-briefing. You can film your video beforehand. So then when you get to the destination, say it's Paris, you end up getting to just sit down and enjoy it, and your video is just live. In my case, there might be like an editing mistake or multiple of them. So I don't get to enjoy the dinner as much because there's a whole bunch of comments asking me why my video has a mistake. And it's because I edited in my hotel room. But yeah, there's some events where we're all trying to race to be the first one to upload. I think San Francisco, Samsung put us at the hotel right at Union Square, and Carl Conrad was still in the square, and I could see him in the window still filming, and the dinner was in an hour, and I'm editing away, and it was time to go to the dinner. I call him and I was like, yo, you coming down? And he's like, dude, I haven't even started editing. And I'm like, I've already uploaded. He's like, what? So he feels that pressure, and I'm already in the lobby. And so 20 minutes, he's like running downstairs, and he's like, I edited it in 20 minutes and it's already up. So yeah, it's like kind of always a bit of a race, a little bit stressful, and I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's just the kind of the way it works.
I don't know. I kind of feel like there's really no need to race because you're going to get the views that you get regardless. I know that being first with a product and things like that, I know that's pretty important. But if everybody's embargoed at the same time and they're all going to drop videos at like 9 o'clock, then does it really matter if you drop yours at like 9:05 or 9:10 or 9:15 or 9:30? I mean, I don't think it matters at that point.
Yeah, I haven't figured it out yet. So I don't really have any opinions towards that, but I do feel like being the first one out is you either got to be the very first or you got to be the last of the first wave. And usually I'm the idiot who uploads right in the middle of it, and it just gets stuck in the heavy traffic.
Okay, so I got a question for you. Since you have a lot of experience with this, and I have like next to none. Why do companies allow creators to actually no? The question is, why do companies set their embargo for to end right before their press event goes live? So if I'm watching a Samsung Unpacked event, right before that event goes live, there are all types of Galaxy device videos dropping right after the event goes live. And it makes no sense to me because I would think that you want those videos to go live after the event, but they always go live before the event. Why do companies do that? Why is that?
Yeah, it's I think a lot of times they try to align it with the official announcement. So by the time the official announcement is out, there's no way to hold people back from talking about it. So sometimes like OnePlus, I think they pick it right in the middle. The event's 10:30, the embargo is 11. Which is like people who are not in the event, they'll at least like a lot of these companies have like want to drive hype all at once. They'll have a certain hashtag, and they just want that hashtag to go trending, and sometimes they'll pay for it. Like they'll boost it on Twitter and put like a special logo and all that kind of stuff. So they want to push all the hype at once. And I think a lot of times as a creator, we kind of have to tell the brand, like, do you really want to go, like, why not distribute it out a little bit? Because if there's 50 pieces of information at once, a regular person is only going to look at one or two. Chances are Marquez is going to be the one that you're going to look at,
right?
And then maybe one other creator that you particularly like. You're not going to go watch the other 48. But if you spread it out, like if you put 20 on the first day, 20 on the second day, 10 on the third day, you at least remind the consumer about the product. And if somebody didn't get to anything on the first day, say they were just busy or off grid or whatever it is, they at least get that second wave and the third wave. I really just don't see the reasoning behind it. But it's embargoes are weird. Like you have the embargo and every region tries to align, but then you have some regions that say one is allowed to go up when the live announcement has happened, whereas the other sets a specific time. So in some cases, our embargo was 11 a.m., but then The Verge is already posting at 10:45. So then everybody in Canada just launches and says, screw the embargo, because all the information is already out there. But then you get stuck in the traffic and all that kind of stuff. And then the official embargo is 11 o'clock, and people who followed it or they scheduled it end up pushing your video all the way down. So yeah, I personally haven't figured out the winning strategy for embargo content. So in the case of the Samsung, we didn't even bother making a video of it yet because we saw the numbers and they just, like, creators within the same size, the performance just wasn't good on this phone.
Really? So the performance on the Note 20 Ultra videos, they're not out there?
The ones after embargo didn't do very well for the most part. And like, I know it's not always about the views, but obviously with like sponsors and stuff, they look at the channel and it's sort of like, if you're going to spend the time and all that, you want to make sure the video at least has a chance to perform. And if it's one that like is easily going to not do well, which I had a feeling that this one was going to be like that, then it's sort of like, we need to take more time to think about how we can effectively create a video of this device without it just being the same as everybody else, just to get out of the way and say that we still review smartphones.
Right. Interesting. That is, I remember, I think it was the last year or the year before, Dyson messed up so hard. They had everybody at the same time. Like, what are you doing?
They still regret that one to this day.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I wasn't a part of that one. They ended up listening to me. Well, they listened to me after that because we did a 1-year deal with them last year. They listened to whatever opinions I gave them, because every time they would say something otherwise, I would just bring up that whole idea again. And they've been relatively nice to work with. But I think right now the problem is all these companies want you to put these stupid like hashtags on the YouTube videos, and it's like these long hashtags that nobody searches.
Right.
Like I sort of have a problem with hashtags. I don't like it next to the title at all. And it's the way they're trying to push the campaign is actually making the money that they're spending less effective if there's certain basic practices that aren't being followed.
Yeah, I don't putting a hashtag next to a title of a YouTube video, not really a good idea. Now I know
I've seen some bad ones. Yeah,
I know YouTube allows us to put 3 hashtags above the title, and I do that with my video, but it's not no sponsor content or anything like that. But yeah, sometimes hashtag can work on YouTube if you do it the correct way, but putting it right next to a title, not really a good look. It wouldn't do that.
Yeah, or it depends what it is. A lot of times it's like a very specific, like you've got this like projector and it has like a like a 12-letter name, and they make you put the projector, or they have like a very corny slogan that they put into a hashtag. Like, yeah, I think there's a lot of phones last year that had a really bad hashtag.
Yeah,
I think like it was which one was it? There was one campaign that we had to do, and the hashtag was like soul electrified, something like that. Something. I know there's one that was worse. It was for iSetups, I believe. It was really long. It was like it was like a phrase, not a. But the hashtag was like just really messy.
Yeah, like you said, if nobody can search the hashtag, or nobody's going to search the hashtag,
yeah,
it's not a good look. And I think brands need to get better at listening to what creators, and to how we present videos. I know a lot of brands probably, especially the bigger ones, they want you to do it exactly the way they want you to do it. And I'm just like, do you have somebody from YouTube on your payroll? Like, do you have an actual creator on payroll? Then why are you talking to me? Go talk to them. If you're talking to me or you're talking to Justin, then you might want to listen to how we tell you to present the video if you want to get the maximum amount of exposure on YouTube. Like, we know best. This is what we do.
Yeah, like even a recent example, I think, was the HP video. And we started doing a little bit of lifestyle stuff on the channel. But the thing is, like, some brands are very protective of their brand. They don't want to be associated with any other product, even though a video that is integrating multiple products will perform better than the standalone. So,
yeah,
for example, like the HP video, they were paying max rate. So I'm kind of like, you want this to be as effective as possible, you're going to have to listen to a few things.
Yeah.
And we said, why don't you go in a setup makeover? But the problem they had was that there was a different mouse, a different keyboard, and like different other products. And I'm like, well, you guys aren't even known for your keyboard and mouse. Nobody knows that you make a mouse. Why don't we just put your product in there? But like, what's wrong with being with these other brands? You're the only laptop. And those videos are ones I could do anywhere from 150,000 guaranteed to 1 million views. But instead, they insisted on going in the video that was called 10 skills I'm trying to learn, which was like a cool like insight into daily life. But the thing does 20,000 views, and we knew it was going to do that bad. And so we're like, told you so. They didn't say anything, but it was like we totally would have preferred putting you in a video that you would have fit better in, which is like the student desk setup tour. But instead, you thought that having a competing Amazon mouse and keyboard was too big of a problem. And I wasn't going to let HP control the whole video because I don't want this whole desk setup to have like HP only. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yep. I mean, sometimes they gotta learn the hard way. Sometimes they gotta learn the hard way, man.
Yeah, and you also don't want to spend too much time trying to push back on stuff, because there's always a creator out there who's willing to just comply with anything they say and just take the deal as is. So you want to stand up for what you want, but at the same time, you have to kind of find both sides. And I would say, like, I'm definitely more pushy, like a little bit more difficult in some areas to work with for brands, but just some of the stuff, like, even if I was trying to let loose, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And like the numbers reflected, and like, yeah, there's a whole bunch of scenarios in the last decade on small and large scales where there's just like being a disagreement. And that's like one of the things that hurts the creativity sometimes.
Definitely. So Andrew Edwards posted on Twitter an issue that he had with a brand not too long ago. He did a video, I think, I forget what brand it was, but he did a video for a brand. Actually, I think it was HP, now that I think about it. But he did a video for HP, and I guess for whatever reason, they wanted him to take the video down. I guess he did it like a few years ago, but for whatever reason, they wanted him to take the video down. But he wouldn't take the video down, so now they try to like send like a copyright strike or something because he wouldn't take the video down. So have you ever had an issue where you did a video for a brand, but they wanted you to take the video, or there was a clause in the contract that they could take the video down, or they could make you take it down at some point in the future? Like that's kind of
it's definitely a weird one. I think usually it's a clause that you're not allowed to take the video down for some period of time. I haven't had that before. And I feel like a lot of times it's to do with like licensing and this and that. We do licensing deals, and they're usually on like a 1-year basis. And if they want to extend it, they'll reach back out and they'll sign a new agreement. And I think in our case, we haven't had a scenario where there has had to be a takedown. It really depends, because obviously Andrew's been making branded content for longer than I have. But yeah, I know the contracts, there's always stuff that these brands are trying to like sneak in there that we didn't agree on, and they just try to see if you miss it or not.
Yeah, it's funny because like it's funny because when he was talking about the issue that he was having, he said they came back with, well, a lot of creators are okay with it, so why aren't you okay with it? But a lot of creators,
companies always say that. Like they always say like, well, this brand, this creator only charges this much, or this guy, I'm like, well, go hire that creator then.
all
Like
right.
it's like, yeah, it just they always like to play the, well, that person only did this much. I was like, well, I'm sorry, my schedule is full right now, and unless you're willing to meet these terms, I can't do it. It doesn't really matter what the other person's doing. It happens all the time. It's very common, and it's just one of those things that you have to work with. And depending on the region, you get different experiences. Like some Asian companies are really easy to work with, whereas some are about as stubborn as I am.
I mean, but at the end of the day, though, I mean, you got to stand your ground with these things, because at the end of the day, you're the one that put in the work. You know what will perform best and what will do best on your channel. It's your channel, your brand, your company. So, I mean, you wanna meet the brand demand as much as you can, especially if they're paying. But at the end of the day, like I said, that's on you. Like that video that you put out there, that has your name on it, your blood, your sweat, your tears. So, at the end of the day, these brands got to capitulate, or they can, like you said, they can hit the high road and go find somebody else.
Yeah, it's tough. And a lot of times these brands, the agencies, they manage multiple companies. So it's kind of like what are you going to do if you don't, there's always somebody out there who's complying to every single thing they say. And if this company manages like many large clients, then you're kind of like, well, if I screw this one up, I'm not getting anything else. Even if it's just a one-time scenario. So yeah, I think it's just part of it. There's nothing really wrong with it. Like the fact that there's always discussions going on with companies and the way you want to do things, but it's just part of it. And every job has certain things you really don't like about it. And yeah, sometimes it's like not as much creative control as we would like.
Yeah, I think you made a good point earlier. It's all about finding that balance. Like, what are some things that you were willing to capitulate to in order to get the deal done or whatever that you can do that is manageable, more or less. I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's weird too. Like depending on the time of year, it's just all over the place. Like right now, next couple weeks are just completely packed, but then you have a couple months where there wasn't really much going on.
Every year, yeah.
So it's just you never know. And sometimes like you think the day's over, and then you get an email, and then it's like, okay, well, we got to sort this out. You just don't know what's coming up. And then whenever stuff doesn't happen, you're sort of like, well, maybe this is the end of my career. I guess I'm done, getting knocked out of this industry. And then all of a sudden you have this week of your career from a company perspective. And so, yeah, it's I think that's just part of it. You choose an industry as an entrepreneur that is volatile, and you can do what you can to set yourself properly. But at the end of the day, it's kind of what you sign up for. There's always jobs out there that are more consistent and stuff. But yeah, it's mentally straining, but at the same time, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't been doing this as long as you have, but being a YouTube creator has afforded me a lot of different experiences, and even in the time I've been doing it. So, I mean, obviously, like you said, with any job, there's going to be things that you don't like dealing with. But like for the 3 years or so that I've been doing this, I've had a fun time doing it. I've been able to like talk to and like get to know a bunch of different creators and things like that, and have cool experience with work with different brands and everything. So it's cool. Like I like doing this. I mean, it seems like you like doing it. You've been doing it for 10 years, so I'm pretty sure I
try to be grateful about it. Like I joke around, like God, like we're never able to stop this thing. But at the same time, I don't really have the perspective because I've never had a real job. So I don't really know what that side is. Like I haven't worked for anybody before aside from like the clients and stuff. So I know I can't really give opinions on that. But yeah, it's I don't know. I've always wondered what it's like to have a job where you don't have to think about it as soon as you clock out at the end of the day. That's something that I haven't really had before. So yeah, it's
you like never had a real job? What?
I haven't.
What? You've never had an actual 9-to-5 corporate? Oh my!
I've never been on a payroll aside from my own company.
Wow! I mean,
Yeah, there's definitely both sides though. Like when I look at it from my employee's perspective, I'm like, damn, you guys get to enjoy the exact same things. You get to use all the stuff. You get to travel for free. You get all the good food. But then at the end of the day, you get to go home and just get on with your regular life. But at the same time, my buddy's like, well, all the money's in the company. All the stuff is yours. Like even though you're paying yourself a lower salary than you could, you have all the control to be able to like say like, we'll buy this property to use for YouTube and that flexibility. But yeah, I think if anything, like we're all putting in the same amount of work as a staff members during the daytime. But the real area that's different is yeah, the whole life revolves around it, and there just isn't really that go home at the weekend and don't have to think about anything till Monday. Like we get emails at 3 in the morning all the time, and if I get an email and I'm up, I'll answer it right away. First thing you do in the morning, you wake up. Eastern time zone is 3 hours ahead of us, so 7 a.m. I'll start to get like 15, 20 emails, and that's like the bulk of the emails for the day. And then if you get your contracts, you want to upload by noon East Pacific time and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, like today was kind of one of those things where it's like nothing could go wrong, otherwise your whole schedule is kind of messed up.
it's funny that you say about getting emails at different times. Like this is something that I'm just now getting into the flow of, like talking to people in Korea. So it's funny, like me,
Very stubborn.
It's not that they're stubborn, it's just like the time zone difference. Like me thinking, like I'm like, why am I getting the email at 10 o'clock at night? And then I realize, like, oh, it's like 8 in the morning where they are. I'm like, that's what's going on. I'm like, okay. So
The weird thing is some of these companies, they'll email every time of the day. Like a lot of these Chinese companies, they work Saturday and Sunday.
right.
So every time of day. Whereas in North America, it's very much a 9 to 5,
Yeah.
Monday to Friday thing.
Right.
So you kind of know that you should be sending emails out on Friday unless it's to close and end.
Yep.
Because you're not going to get a response till Tuesday, and that Tuesday is going to be your busiest administrative day. Monday sometimes is busy as well, but it's people like they go on their weekends, they'll come back, and a lot of times they'll forget about what has been discussed in the week prior. So that's kind of something I'm not used to. Like I think especially with the renovation, I'm realizing that it's a very Monday to Friday industry, whereas like I naturally like forget about that. And I'm like texting the project manager. I'm like, hey, who's working there tomorrow? And he's like, nobody. It's Saturday and Sunday. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna go get my own electrician to chip away at it, because you can go and find like dad's friend, Asian electrician, and they'll come in on a Saturday, Sunday, or they like to do the Sundays to just start like doing some stuff. So yeah, it's a little bit different. But I feel like at some point of life, I would like to have at least a certain level of balance. I think people say the best part of being an entrepreneur is you can retire whenever you want, you can choose your hours, but people like I've never really met many entrepreneurs who have chosen their hours. If anything, they're working more than the standard per week.
Good. You make a good point, man. You make a very good point. So I'm curious. You just said that if you try to email a company on a weekend, you won't get a reply till Tuesday. So is emailing a brand on a Monday a bad idea then? I
would say Monday night's the best time to email, because Monday is like the day where everybody has to get in the groove of things again and get used to it.
I'm taking notes on the iPhone. Monday night, huh? Okay.
Yeah, Monday's like a catch-up day for anybody, even myself. Like even if a Sunday was like a work day, Monday is one of those days where everything's like in motion again. You're officially on the clock because companies are actively working and you're able to get a hold of people. But I usually like to email on Monday. Occasionally I'll do a Sunday night, because Monday morning you'll leapfrog everybody else who's been stuffing the inbox over the weekend, and the first thing is your email. And usually I'd say, like in terms of frequency of response, I try to respond within the day on like Tuesday, Wednesdays. But if it's Thursday, you better reply to that email right away, or you're not going to hear back until the following Monday.
Now, see, that's what I always thought. I always thought like maybe the best time to email a brand was Sunday night, because like you said, that'll be the first thing that they see on Monday morning. But you just said that it's better to email on Monday night, right?
I think Monday morning. I'm not really sure exactly, because I haven't worked in a corporate world, but I feel like Monday, like everybody's come back from their weekend. It takes a little bit longer for you to get focused and all that kind of stuff. And there's just like a lot of housekeeping and catching up. It's like a chaotic day. So if you're putting in like a new request, a lot of times it can kind of get caught up in all that. So yeah, I find like Tuesdays where there's the most action in the email inbox. But I personally love doing emails. Like I think like right now the inbox has with no spam mail. I found a way to sort of like control the spam by actively eliminating what can come into it and getting out of newsletters. But out of like the whole inbox, let's see, there's 72,000 emails and the unread, there's 11 unread right now.
What?
So we try to stay on top of it.
72,000 emails. God damn. Whoa.
Yeah, it's I do like doing it though. Like I think it's a lot of fun.
I don't know what's more astonishing, the fact that you have 72,000 emails or the fact that there's only 11 of them that are unread. Wow.
A lot of them are junk. Like there's still a lot of that Amazon stuff that comes in at night.
I hate those emails.
The free backpacks for a dedicated review kind of thing. But yeah, I do like to stay on top of email, and I've been good at maintaining a 0 unread mailbox for many years.
Wow, that's impressive. A lot of people can't get to that level of having that 0 inbox.
Yeah, it's I don't know. A lot of people like to do the creating part over emails. I'm a bit of the opposite.
You're more the business savvy. Okay, nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, the back end stuff definitely excites me a lot.
I mean, but it's interesting because the back end stuff is what allows you to have the unique experiences on the front end, on the creative side. So that makes sense.
Yeah, I think the problem a lot of times is like I think our business side is optimized quite well. Like we've been able to operate quite efficiently based on the channel size. My weakness is actually all in the content creation and the side that people see. So I can understand why a lot of people are like, how are you guys able to generate this or this and that, just based on looking at the content. But yeah, I think the back end is the most important. Like it's a lot of times like artists are great at creating art, but if they don't know how to run a business, then they aren't able to make a living. So if anything, I feel like business is 60% and the creative part is the 40%. And if your creative part isn't good enough, then your business part is not going to get utilized. But if you can find that kind of happy medium and think like a business person, but also try to pick up creative cues and have that creative eye, then that's how you run an effective channel. So I think that's what I usually say when people are like, how have you been doing this for 10 years and only have this many subscribers, or why are your videos still doing so bad? And my response to that last year was like, we're business people and we know we're running an effective company. Our next priority is to figure out how to grow the channel and how to get more consistent views while pleasing the audience. And as a result of that, it complements the other side. So YouTube obviously has passive income and active income.
Right.
Passive income is like your AdSense, your affiliate money, and sometimes it's licensing and all that kind of stuff. And with active income, it's like your whole like your brand deals, your dedicated videos, your traveling campaigns, and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of times I say that active income and passive income complement each other. If you can increase your passive income is usually much smaller than active income, at least in the tech industry. I know in some industry, the AdSense is all the money, and brand deals are very far and few between. But in our space, it's definitely like I would almost say 10% of it comes from passive. The rest is all active. But if my passive income can go up, then my active income will go up because the views are better, your AdSense goes up, and if your views are better, you can charge more on your sponsorships. So that's kind of the way I look at it. And I feel like I think I tried to explain it to my co-host on the podcast is a real estate agent, and he was talking about like how he's selling houses and condos, and you might sell condos for $500,000 that take more time to sell than houses that are $1 million. You obviously make more money off a house versus a condo, but the way we look at it is with videos as well. A dedicated video will pay much more than in video integration, but if you were to only do the dedicated videos, your income would only be like 20% of the potential 80%. It's like the 80-20 rule that everybody talks about. So I'm like, you gotta sharpen your skills in the small things, like the integrations, as well as in the real estate side. You're selling condos. By selling a lot of condos, you can sell more houses, that kind of thing. And because houses are much more limited, you can't just sit back when you have nothing to sell. So I think that's the same with YouTube. Like we try to have as many like integrations that fit in quite nicely, and then occasionally you'll have a dedicated video that might pay the same amount as 7 integrations. But if you don't do those other videos, you're not going to get the main thing. But yeah, it is true. Like those videos that like the dedicated videos take 1/10 of the time that those 7 videos took. But at the end of the day, it's only 20% of the revenue structure.
Did y'all hear how he just went all Roberto Blake on us? And I just find it fitting that Roberto was in the chat tonight listening to all of this. But he just seriously went Roberto Blake. I mean, damn, that wow, man. Oh my. It makes sense, but I mean, you don't really hear too many creators break it down like that, but it makes a lot of sense. Obviously, you want to make the most amount of money possible, but doing too many dedicated sponsored videos also turns the viewers off because they don't want to see all those sponsored videos. It's a lot better.
I think my example of 2017 is the best example. Sorry, but yeah, 2016, 2017 was the best example. Like I had 160,000 subs. I hadn't really made, I mean, in high school, I was probably making, I'd say 25 grand a year off YouTube. But I hadn't made like real money off of content and getting paid for videos. And so when I went into it, I did all the Fambit crap. I was reviewing like planters and all that garbage. And a lot of times I was like, wow, that's good money. And at the time it was like $500 a video. And I was like, holy crap, $500 a video. I want to make 20 of these. And so I can buy all my nice camera gear and whatever it was. And yeah, when you're losing subscribers per video, like I was losing 200 subscribers per video, it is very demoralizing. But then you're also like, I really like to be able to make money off these videos because I've been working for free for the last 5 years. But then you're also throwing all the work you put in the 5 years prior down the drain if you ruin it like that. You can ruin a YouTube channel just as fast as you can grow one. And if you don't upload for a few weeks, you could be out of the space. It's just the way it works. It's not good, but yeah, I think that's what we notice most. And I think the problem right now is I'm kind of glad we didn't start doing ad campaigns until we were at 150,000 subscribers, because when I was younger, I didn't really know how to do any of the brand deal related stuff. I just knew about selling stuff. And because we didn't do any of the brand deals too early, we were able to grow the channel a little bit better. Whereas a lot of times now I see people doing a ton of ads when their channel's at like 20,000 or 40,000 and like dedicated videos. And you kind of have to decide which direction you want to go, at least when you're starting. I think the best explanation was from Dave 2D a few years ago when he explained to me. Dave 2D used to always be on my ass about these stupid ads I was doing. Like I was doing unlock videos and putting that on as dedicated videos on my channel. He was always like giving me crap about it, and I would be so angry at him and be like, oh, well, you have more than enough money, so it's easy for you to say all that kind of stuff. But I think Austin Evans, was the one that explained it to him. And he was saying, you look at your channel as a company that is publicly traded. There's a certain value to it. There's a certain amount of equity. There's a certain stock price. And each time you do an advertisement, you're essentially cashing in on one of your own stocks. So you can decide if you want to cash it in now, or you can wait a little bit longer, don't take anything out of it. And when the stock price grows, you can cash it in at a higher price, but at a lower frequency later down the road. So I think that's the way I look at it. Right now, it's like, you have to kind of figure out the opportunity cost with that. And back then, the $500 for dedicated video was a terrible idea, because if I'd continue doing that, my channel would be at nothing. And then nowadays, the deals are a couple digits more than that. That would have completely been wiped out just because of some of the 500s that I did at the time to try to cash in short term.
Wow, you make great points, man. Like, damn. Wow. Wow. Woo! I did not expect my Friday night to go this way, but I am all for it. This is some awesome information, man. And it makes perfect sense because, again, at the end of the day, I always say that the YouTube algorithm is a measurement of human behavior. And what do we as viewers hate more than anything? Commercials, advertisements, sponsored videos. Like when Marquez did that sponsored Buick video a month or so ago, people were hating like a mofo. We just don't like sponsored content. We don't like commercialized content. So I think you put it excellently. Like, you know what? Especially when you're first starting out, don't do no sponsored videos. Like build your base up, build your audience up first, and then like you say, cash out later on when you have more value, when your channel, when your equity have more value. I think Roberto Blake made a comment similar to this like a couple of years ago. He said something to the effect of he wished that channels had to be at 10,000 subscribers before they could be monetized. Like Roberto, I remember Roberto saying like if he could change the YouTube rules, creators would not be able to monetize their channel until they hit 10,000 subscribers. And what you just explained make that more clearer. You got to build up your channel value first before you start cashing in. Otherwise, like you said, you could just bankrupt it quickly.
Yeah, it's like I think the Marquez thing is a situation of cashing in a stock when it was worth a lot of money because he rarely does ads.
Right.
But you notice he put a video out the day after, which is a smart move. If you got a bad ad, just put a video out the day after that's a little bit better, and just start to push that thing down the feed.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a perfect example of, and I've heard some of the numbers that like that creators smaller than Marquez have been offered and turned down, and it's pretty ridiculous. Like we're talking 6 figures for a video. And when you think about that, that's like life-changing money. And even no matter how much money you have, even if somebody was like a millionaire, it's not easy to turn that down because you can think of how many things you can do or how many differences you can make, how many people you can employ with that amount of resource. And even when you think about it, it's like a down payment for a property each time you to make a video. It's just crazy to think. But like even now, I struggle with thinking of the long-term plan quite often. Like especially with the renovation, the cost of that thing is like rising by the day. And it's like if you turn down this video that is not very harmful, like what difference you gotta? It is like kind of a tough thing. And with like coronavirus, at the time we weren't really getting much stuff for a couple months. You kind of have to just take your things because you don't know how long this thing's gonna last for. I mean, it's the first pandemic I've been part of in my lifetime. That you don't know if it's going to be 9 months. You hope it's going to be 3 months, but say a year later, everything is still just as bad as it is. Even if you have money to fall back on inside the company to make sure everybody still gets their salary, it's you have to make sure you're strategizing and being adaptive with it. There's certain times a year that are just too busy. You can't add any more things to it, and so you have to raise your rate. And a company might say you're greedy for doing that, but you're like, well, if I'm getting offered 5 things at the same price, I can't just drop my price down to add a 6th thing because I can barely get the 5 of them done. That kind of thing. So yeah, I think it's all about, it's hard because if you're starting when you're in your 20s to not monetize a channel and the amount of time you put in and the amount of time you're giving up from your daily life, it is hard to justify, which is why I tell everybody to start when they're 13, because when you're 13 to 18, in a lot of cases, you're living at your parents' house, they're feeding you. You don't really have to. In my case, I was fortunate that I didn't have to think about any living expenses. That I was able to do a lot of dumb stuff with my business that either made me lose money or just not make money at all. And I was able to learn from that with no realistic consequences.
Yeah. I like you you brought up a good point. It's a lot easier to start out when you're younger because, like you said, you don't have that overhead, you don't have rent, you don't have family, you don't have kids, you don't have all that that might be taking your attention away or holding you down or holding you back per se. Like you said, it's easier to start when you're younger, but when you older, like maybe somebody like myself, you got like a full-time job and other obligations. It's a lot harder to focus on a YouTube channel per se. But
100%.
I mean, like anything in life, man, if you really want it bad enough, you'll find a way to get it done. And I think that's where I'm at right now. So
yeah, like you never know until you know. It's really a weird thing because like when I dropped out, I didn't know what I was really gonna do. I knew I was gonna spend all the time on YouTube, but you always have like an ideal scenario. Like I hope in this many years we'd like to reach this revenue goal. We'd like to hire this many people, that kind of thing. But that's like the best case scenario. So I don't really like to set a timeline on goals. I think if you just ensure that every single thing you're touching, thinking of, doing is all going to put you one step closer, the things that you dream of just kind of happen. And when the time is right, the time is right. But you do still have to be as smart as possible with it. So when I dropped out the first 2 weeks, I actually didn't do anything. I was like watching TV because I've never had that level of time freedom. I always had something. Asian parents made me learn piano when I grew up, so I had to practice every day. And I think growing up that helped because I was always forced to do things that I didn't want to do. Parents make you learn Chinese, piano, and that was like every day. And I was like, I'm never going to use this stuff. But as a result of being tied down to that piano bench for an hour every day, every single time I was done playing the piano, I would either run outside to play hockey because that was what I was looking forward to the whole time, or it was to start making YouTube videos. So by filling up the time, they kind of, it taught some brain activities, but at the same time taught me how to value the time that I had to spend on what I wanted to do. And that's how because I still find it kind of weird, because when I was a kid, I was definitely all over the place in terms of what I liked. But I'm still surprised to this day that I didn't quit between sometime age 13 and 18, because it would have been very easy to do that. So I don't really know what ended up continuing with it, but I think everybody's just got to start as young as possible. And it's also never really too late to start. Like, I think starting at 20 is better than starting at 13, aside from the whole like getting in the routine thing, because when you're 13, you're honestly just dumb as hell. I used to put ads in my videos that I wasn't being paid for, because I saw like John Rettinger and those guys, like they're sponsored by Revision 3 and like HostGator. So I would put those ads in when I wasn't even getting paid.
I mean, I've heard other people put like fake ads in their videos too. I mean, at least you got the practice of doing it though. So I guess there's that. But yeah.
Yeah, it was so funny.
So I'm curious. When you just said that you kind of thought about maybe quitting when you were between the ages of 13 and 18, why is it that you think you didn't quit? What kept you going?
I think I just wanted to prove people wrong, because I mean, at school, people, I still remember to this day, there was somebody in my class when the teacher was asking if I made any money off YouTube. Some kid decided to answer for me, and he told the teacher that he's like, "No, I don't think so," and I just didn't say anything about it. So I think the whole time in high school, it was sort of trying to prove everybody wrong, and at least at some point in high school, there was a bit of the satisfaction that came in, because at around grade 10 to 12. Every case company was willing to send anything I wanted. I wasn't getting free phones yet. I was just getting cases. Eventually, like around senior year, I did start getting free phones, but everybody would come and ask can I get them this and can I get them that? And if they had made fun of the channel, I would charge them full price for it, and they would still have to pay it because there was nowhere to get it.
Yes. Gangster, that's crazy. Oh, that's so gangster. He's like, "Oh, you're making fun of my channel? Full price." I love it.
Or like iPod repairs and all that kind of stuff. And there's some point where we bought, I think, 25 colored iPhone 4 bumpers for $25 on eBay, and we would take them to school and sell them for $20 a piece. So in 5 days, all 20 of the cases would be gone. I'd have $500, and I spent 20, and I ordered the next batch of them. And then I ended up trying to go online with a case company, and I lost all that money. $500 went into the web development, logos, packaging. I still have some of that packaging to this day because we only sold one thing.
So Roberto wants to know that the people that talk trash about you in high school, did they ever apologize to you?
Like, when people talk trash in high school, it wasn't like that bad. It was just like getting made fun of sort of thing. Like, I don't really blame them. But instead of apologizing, it's more of like it's cool to, they'll say like, "Oh, it's cool to see that you've come this far," or sort of that sort of thing. And I think like when you're in high school, everything you do is to try to prove something to everybody else. Like, you're trying to be the cool guy or whatever it is and all that. And it's not so much about personal satisfaction. I think after high school, and especially now, it is more about like personal goals and things that like really give me my own satisfaction instead of like showing it. Like, I think the value that I want to provide is in like my opinions and perspective towards the business side, so people can do their own thing. But yeah, I think internal satisfaction in what you do is most important, because half the people in high school, you don't even see them anymore. And you might see a few of them lingering around town, and they're still doing the same thing as out of high school, or they're living in their parents' basement.
Oh, y'all know what I'm about to do, right? Y'all know what I'm about to do, right? Here we go. Oh, shot fired! Shot fired on the podcast. My man out here firing shots. It's okay though. I respect that. You know it. Hey, it's funny, like when people make fun of you like that, but you still think it's what you believe in and believing in yourself. I think that's the main thing. That's one of the big things that you have to have if you decide to become a YouTube creator. You have to believe in yourself, because there are going to be times where you are the only thing that will keep you going on the platform. So you have that self-belief and that self-motivation, it can take you far.
Yeah, it's tough because in the beginning you don't really know where it's going to go either. But I mean, it's easier to say now than at the time, because there's something to show for it. But yeah, at the time, it's really hard to explain in different positions that like how to change the perspective, because like even like a couple of years ago I had the wrong mindset towards content, and no matter how many times people would tell me, I wouldn't really take it to heart until I realized it myself. And I realized all the stuff, all the opinion, all the advice that Dave was giving me as a friend was actually all valid, but it took me an extra year or two to learn it the hard way. And that's the same with parents. Parents always give you all these pieces of advice, and you don't listen to it. You hear it and you know it and you remember it, but you don't really listen to it until you learn it for yourself. And no matter how many times.
I would say, how cool is that though? That Dave 2D, one of the biggest creators, like he stayed on you. He didn't have to do that. Obviously he has the own thing that he's doing on YouTube, and he's like at 2-3 million subscribers by now. But evidently he saw something in you to keep on you about what you were doing and try to.
Actually, I knew him because I tried to hire him when he had 17,000 subscribers. I thought he was a college kid.
You tried to hire him? That's funny.
So if he had joined on with me, he probably wouldn't have had Dave 2D. So I might have, so we pretty much saw him go from like 17K to something crazy. But yeah, Dave, known him for quite a while, and I think what he's best at is he does it so like carefree, which is what makes him great. That kind of going back to the point where some people who joined YouTube now will probably have a better chance than people who've been doing it for a long time, because you have a fresh perspective. And if you don't know anything, sometimes it's better to know nothing than to know too much. You just got to do your thing and what you believe in. And I think with podcasts, I don't even listen to podcasts. And I think I did that on purpose, because I'm like, I've already like on YouTube, we're studying every little thing. Like we're looking at every percentage, every minute, every little like tiny stupid detail. Podcasts, I just had to just do it. Otherwise, it's going to ruin the fun. Like YouTube is obviously still got to be fun, but at the end of the day, it's a business and it's my flagship platform that I got to be a little bit more analytical for. Whereas on the podcasts, because it's like a no loss project, like we're just like, let's just do it. Like just hit the record button and don't think too much about it. My buddy kept saying we have to have an intro and an outro. I'm like, why do we need an intro and outro? I don't even know what to say. I'm just like, just start the podcast however I feel like starting it.
My man, listen, dude, this is my podcast. I'm gonna do what I want. But that's cool. That's a fresh perspective. You know what? You like you said, you're doing a podcast. You're gonna do it your way. You're not gonna follow no formula, no script, nothing like that. You're just gonna do it how you do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. Now, when you do your video, do you like do a script or do you do it off the top?
Oh God, man, my A-roll is so bad that we've tried multiple different things. We've done like point forms. We've never done a script aside from some news videos where I would have a list of just like stuff that we have to talk about, and we tried a teleprompter. It didn't really work well, and now the videos are such tight turnaround that we don't really have time to make a list because it's got to be done right away. I know some people like to have shot lists and all that kind of stuff, and we tried to use Notion to improve our workflow, but yeah, it's I don't know. I haven't really found the formula yet. I know Linus Tech Tips does a great job with like they have a writing team, a teleprompter, and all that kind of stuff, and he's great at adding expression to it. But yeah, we kind of just do like the quick bullet points and make sure we cover the basis.
Yeah, that's the way I do it, man. I don't do any script. Everything that I do in my videos is off the top of my head. If I have to get into more like detail, I have like outline in front of me that I speak from, so I don't miss any details, especially if it's like a review or something like that. Because obviously you want to be detailed as possible for doing a review. But most of the time, it's like a news video, so I just talk off the top of my head and just go. I don't really do a script, because to me, if I did a script, it would be like I feel like it wouldn't be as authentic as if I'm just doing it off the top of my head. When I'm doing my videos, I want to come across as authentic as possible. So that's why I don't use the script.
For sure. Yeah, like the authentic method is what people like for A-roll. The only difficulty sometimes is knowing what to film for B-roll, because there's like you don't know which area to kind of think. Yeah, so it's I don't know. Video is definitely the most complex medium to pick.
Yeah. So, about that. Do you shoot your B-roll first and then A-roll, or do you A-roll first and B-roll?
Always A-roll first.
Yeah. My idiot though was doing B-roll first for the longest time. What the hell I was thinking about that when I was doing that.
I don't remember if I can't remember if I used to do that. I used to do things a lot of weird. I used to film 10 videos a day. I would have a giant bin, and then the left side would be stuff that is done, reviewed, and ready to sell, and the right side would be all the crap that I got during the week. And it would just be one by one, and I would hit record, and I'd have to do it in one take, and just the microphone's facing on the top, and I'll just like run through each one and put it on the left side, and then at night I'll be watching hockey, and then just put it all on eBay, and that'll be my $100 payday for making 10 videos.
Did you just say you made 10 videos in one day?
Oh yeah, like they would all be done in like 2 hours, but it would just be one by one, and I didn't know how to video edit, so it was like one take wonder kind of thing. Nowadays, don't even bother trying to get me to a one take; it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I cannot do like when I'm doing.
My A-roll might have gotten worse over the years.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've done A-roll, and I'm always fumbling over a word and things like that, and it never gets easier. Like I've done like hundreds of videos, and I'm still fumbling over words in the A-roll. It's frustrating, but it is what it is. Thank God for editing.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank God for editing. Well, listen, man, you've been here practically 2 hours. I appreciate you hanging out for 2 hours tonight, man. I know you told me you only had an hour, but I appreciate you giving me the extra hour.
No, it's just I had to order dinner and get the deadline and stuff. But yeah, we sent off the draft in between. I just quickly sent an email and that's in review now. So I just got to order my dinner and hockey game is playing, a Canadian thing to do. But yeah, thanks so much for having me on. It was a lot of fun to talk, and I love this layout. I think it's a really cool format that you have.
No doubt, man. We'll definitely have to have you back here sometime.
For sure.
I would love to have you as a guest on my actual podcast so we can go a little more detail with that. But I appreciate the time, man. Thank you. And I will definitely catch up with you on the Twitters and things like that, man.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, thanks so much for having me. And I hope everyone enjoyed it, and hopefully we'll chat soon.
No doubt, man. You have a good night.
See you later.
All right, you all. We are at the 2 hour and 45-minute mark. I think I'm going to wrap up this live stream. Man, that was a hell of a conversation. I swear, I felt like I was talking to Mini Roberto. Like that dude is 23 years old and his head is on so straight. It makes me like turn my head like 360 degrees. Like it's amazing. I even said this on Twitter before. It is absolutely amazing how like some of our young people out here are so like they have it together at that age. I wish I had it halfway together at that age that he, Marquez and Jacqueline, and all of them are just doing big things at their age. I know it's better. There's better late than never, but damn, it's amazing that some of the young people that are out there are doing big things. They have their own companies and they're just doing big things, changing the world. But man, that dude, Justin, is legit. Like that dude is an awesome creator, awesome businessman. Thank you again, Justin, for giving me the time tonight. I appreciate you. But we about to wrap this up, you all. Thank you guys for rocking out. As far as when I'll be back live again, probably like I said last Friday, probably Tuesday morning, because I'm like to go live on Tuesday morning. I'm thinking about going live every day in September. I have not decided if I'm gonna do it yet. It is going to be quite the undertaking if I do it. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've done a video every day for a month before, so it should be easier to live stream every day for a month. But I don't know. But yeah, I'm thinking about going live every day in September. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. I'm not going to promise it. I'm thinking about it. I don't know. It's just something I'm thinking about. I'm playing with the idea in my head. But like I said, I'll probably be back on the live streams on Tuesday morning. Hopefully, you guys have a good weekend. It's going to be a Netflix weekend for me because Lucifer season 5 is finally out on Netflix right now. I'm about to go back and watch that. Thank you guys for rocking out. I appreciate you. Thank you for giving me some of your Friday night. But until the next time, people, this your boy Vyper, the man about tech. You know where to find me. So come back for more.